If Love and Gogi is wrong, I don't want to be right.
What would Socrates say to that?
It tickles my fancy.
Okay.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not
Wait.
Yeah.
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
They don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay, Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still to the stars with the show, and till then is half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof I'm alive by the motor. No proof. Like I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, independent, I never ever traded him. You know what is a star? Like another city, the driver's side fly. Wish I could large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. Hey, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever, and cute as could be. You can watch us on YouTube with view for free. Ay. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, Tommy. This could just be a quibble-filled Monday. Just in disbelief, and honestly should be in non-belief of what happened last night. Sunday Night Football, a complete collapse against the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen just begging you, take this football game, please. Dolphins, I don't even want the division. I almost feel bad for you. Here's a crazy interception. I'm throwing over my head. I'm going to get stripped by Christian Wilkins. All you have to do is don't bleep it up. Don't give up a 95-yard touchdown. You know, don't allow a receiver to catch a touchdown that somehow bounced off Van Ginkel's dome. All you have to do is take it. Take it, please. I don't deserve the division this year. I don't want the division this year. And yet, even still, even with Josh Allen putting it on a silver platter for the Miami Dolphins, the turkey was on the table. It was cooked, like Zonka said. Not only was it cooked, but it was served like an hors d'oeuvre to you by Josh Allen. The Dolphins just threw the tray off. Disgusted. Wanted nothing to do with it. Poop show. Complete flop. Complete collapse. Embarrassing. Humiliating. Humbling. Just a complete wreck. Every Dolphin's a mess. They should be. You're going into Kansas City. It's 1 degree. One degree at Arrowhead this week. Could have had the 2 seed. Josh Allen's throwing you the ball. He's coughing up the football like crazy. And Tua's like, hold my beer. What a terrible effort. Hello, Leroy. Leroy?
I'm trying to find some headphones that work.
Oh,
because
okay.
these are a little sketchy. So I can kind of hear you.
Oh,
but it's like muffled, and that's what we were running around looking for. But other than that, what a poop show!
Oh yeah,
you're on point. I viewed it a little bit differently in that here's what I saw. Excellent game plan to start. Really had them working. Really had them, running the wrong way or things of that nature. And then they made some adjustments and you did not. Yep. And so usually when you see offensive football, it all has like a countermeasure in it, if you want to say. So if they start playing us this way, I'm going to go this route. If they start doing these things, here is the counter to them playing it that way. And the counter to what the Dolphins were doing was nothing. The Dolphins actually adjusted. So instead of opening up one way and pitching it the other way, they just opened it up and pitched it front side. And the Bills were doing the same things they were doing. So the offense, as bad as it looked the second half, to me, it had more to do with the adjustments coming out of the second half and what was the counter or what was the next step in the offensive, game plan. And I really didn't see one. And that's why it looked crazy. I will also say this. Tyreek's hurt. You know why?
Yeah.
Let me tell you why. One of the things that you do when you're hurting, sometimes it becomes difficult to catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And he's dropping balls that he wouldn't normally drop.
Easy ones.
Yeah. Easy ones. Right? And so it might be because he's trying to get his body right to make the fall, right? And his concentration is a little bit off. But that is usually a sign of a player who's a little banged up.
Well, that's the thing that's frustrating about it. He's very, in that last play before Tua yaks it up and throws it to the Bills in double coverage. Like Tyreek gets rocked the play before, and you can tell like they're trying to, make sure he's okay because he's playing through stuff already. But
Right.
it's like, man, when he's not out there, it feels like they have nothing else once again. And they went to him, like 3-4 times on catches that were good throws by Tua. Should be right there. Even the pass interference one, he should if he holds on to that, like who knows, he might be at the house if he holds on to that.
But again,
and it's just like,
again, those are passes where over the course of a year, 2 years, Tyreek doesn't miss. He doesn't not catch those balls. And so again, when you're a little banged up, any twist, any turn, anything that puts your body in a uncomfortable position, you start thinking about, okay, how am I going to get out of this instead of the task at hand, which is catching the ball. So
no, he's very clearly been a different player since the major. Like I know he's been dealing with some bumps and bruises all year, but when that Monday Night Football one happened, like he's very clearly been a very different player. Just not as explosive. It can dial it up every now and then, but like it's the easy ones. It's crazy. It's like you're right there, and it's like right in your arms, and that's the thing that's frustrating about it is like you support these guys all year. Mike McDaniel, fun offense, fun guy. Tua, love him. Lots of support for the guy. And Tyreek Hill, 2 years in a row is on a record pace. But like every time there's a big loss, it feels like we come back to those three guys. For Mike McDaniel didn't have an answer in the game plan. Tua's throwing a boneheaded play, or Tyreek Hill had a key drop. It comes down to that every single time we talk about one of these games against one of the premier teams. And you just can't afford that. And especially not from your best guys.
We're not talking about others making plays. We're not talking about, Cedric Wilson did this, or Chase Claypool did this, or we're not talking about others. We're talking about our main guys, right?
Yeah.
The guys who are supposed to be the catalyst or the reason why you win football games and go far in the playoffs. Those are the guys that are making these little mistakes here and there. And you could almost accept if it was others, right? You can almost accept if it was others if your main guys perform. Because
Definitely.
you know that, okay, no matter what, I can depend on these guys. But you don't want to ever come in on a Monday after a loss and say your star players are the guys that, didn't perform. But for whatever reason.
You want to be able.
Those are the guys you're paying. Those are the guys you're depending on.
Well, the thing that's got to be unbelievably frustrating is you're Christian Wilkins and you are losing pass rushers every snap. Van Ginkel goes down. The damn special teams pass rusher goes down. and also seemingly took out his whole team on the coverage. But like, you're losing passers after passers, and Christian Wilkins is literally trying to bring back victory to you and snatch the ball from Josh Allen. They have a stop on 4th down, this defense. Inches. They got to bring out the chain. I don't know how they determine that that's short or not. I don't know how that happens, but they determine stops them. That defense depleted, banged up. They come up with the balls plays, and it's right there for you, dude. It's right there for you, and you yak it up like that. It's just so disappointing. It's so disappointing to get run down by this Bills team that was 500 when you should have been getting to 10-3 on Monday Night Football, and they chased your ass down for the division.
Right.
It's killer. It's brutal.
All that being said, right? With all that being said, you go out and win the next couple of games, all is forgiven.
Come on.
I know.
Yeah, all's forgiven, but what's your hope? Come on. This team in 1 degree weather.
Wait. What is that? Wait a minute. Dude, hold on.
1.
Wait, can I just say this?
1.
Can I just say this? You know, everybody that plays football for the Miami Dolphins isn't from Miami.
1, dude.
That they've played in the cold. Tyreek played in Kansas City.
Yeah, Tyreek. Okay, great.
Sealer played at Ferris State, which is north of Detroit.
You know who I'm worried about. Be real about it. You know who I'm worried about. I'm worried about the quarterback who said I went to Maryland to train in the cold.
Wait, hold on. This is some nonsense because you came in here and I wouldn't make a big deal about it, and you made a big deal about it, and now you're like, whatever.
He failed me.
Make up your mind. Is it a big deal or not? It's not a big deal. He went and practiced in Maryland.
How am I supposed to have faith that
you think he remembers that training?
He had good weather in Maryland, and he gave up two interceptions this past week. My faith is very shaken right now in number 1. It's not great. I try. I'm hanging on. I'm hoping. I'm sitting. This is the one, Tua. Legacy drive. Let's go, Tua. Legacy drive.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why did Tua end up leading the league in passing?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Josh Allen is responsible for like 43 touchdowns and 21 turnovers.
Yep.
Right? Why do we just shrug off all of that stuff with Josh Allen and not with Tua? Because
he won though. Like, I get you. He won the division. Like, that's why he gets to laugh in our face, because he tried to give you the game yesterday. It was the worst game I've ever seen him play. He's like, throw, whee! Then, like, he gets the ball stripped, and like his coach basically like ripped him a new one on national television going into the tunnel, and he still pulled off the win. That's why it's frustrating. It was right there for Tua.
Hey.
And I know he's not Tua's not a punt return. I get it. It's not all him, but he had the opportunity to tie, and he's had that opportunity 4 times this year, and he never comes through. It's just frustrating. I get it. He had a nice season.
Like 2 weeks ago.
What's that?
He came through like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, come on, dude.
That don't count?
Not anymore. No, it doesn't actually.
Sanders came through too.
No, it doesn't.
Against Dallas?
Congratulations. You got Jason Sanders' position for 5 field goals. Congratulations. Good for you. Jason Sanders had a record day, 3 50-yarders. What a performance. And I love the guy. He's adorable. It's a great story. But you want to know something? All that stuff is nice. Talking about his confidence and the rebuild of it. He's a good player. But Leroy, it is sports. Like, you do have to come down in these games. You got the division in hand, and it was right there for go get it, dude. We're all waiting. And nope. You knew there was going to be some, like, everybody's faith with him, with the game on the line, is like, he's probably going to throw some ball that's going to get into some terrible coverage, and he's going to get yanked. He's going to yak that throw. It's frustrating. Get it. He's had some tremendous numbers we haven't literally seen since Marino. However, he also had a 3-game lead in the division with a month to go and blew it. Blew it.
Can we take a break and get back to this on the other side, because you're getting cranked up and I want to be able to hear you a little bit better. So I'm gonna go work on this.
Alrighty.
Make WQAM your favorite station and take us wherever you go.
There was the moment we needed the most.
Well, before we get back into the melancholy of today, I got a cool thing to tell you about.
What's up?
We got your chance for you guys to go to Udonis Haslem night. Udonis Haslem is having his jersey retired. I believe it's the 19th against the Hawks. So it's next Friday, Udonis Haslem night. If you guys want to win tickets to that, all you have to do is text the word HEAT to 20357. Text HEAT to 20357 and you can win and be there when UD's jersey is retired. For more details, you guys can go to WQM.com. That is coming up next Friday at the Kaseya Center. The Heat have a couple of legend nights coming up. I believe D-Wade night is next Sunday, which is good because the Dolphins game is Saturday, so that's not a conflict. D-Wade's getting like a Hall of Fame kind of nod. He's, they put the Hall of Fame stitch on his jersey. So I think he's given like a halftime speech or something like that. And then UD night is next Friday. Heat are home a bunch after a West Coast trip that ended 2-3. Not a very competitive game against the Suns to close out a road trip with no KD. So that was kind of disappointing. Tyler Hero built a brick house like a third little pig. And it was pretty much bam or nothing in that game. So tough way to end the road trip. But the Heat now come back for a 4-game homestand starting tonight against the Houston Rockets. You guys can hear that right here on 560 WQAM. 7:30 is your tip. 6:15 is preheat with Solana. But of course, nobody wants to talk about that right now. We're licking our wounds today. Dolphins, they give up, they yak up, they cough up the division. The Bills chased them down. Bills were 6-6 just a mere weeks ago, Leroy. Could have been eliminated yesterday. They could have been eliminated yesterday if the Jaguars didn't Jaguar.
The Jags. Well, it didn't matter because the Dolphins didn't win. So
it didn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But it's hilarious to think about. The Bills could have been in a situation where they didn't make the playoffs, and yet here they are laughing on the Dolphins on the way. All those Bills fans, stupid Josh Allen with his Bills Mafia covered in buffalo sauce. They all get to laugh at us, Leroy. And I can't really say anything. I can't even enjoy today if Bill Belichick gets fired. That's how depressed I am. You know?
Well, don't worry. There's already two are gone.
2 are on the Ron Rivera.
One guy. Arthur, what's his name?
Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith.
He was fired by Arthur Blank.
Yeah, they couldn't wait. And then Ron Rivera, which we knew that was coming. And it sucks for Ron Rivera because with all the chaos going around that organization, he brought some credibility, right? We stopped thinking about the clown show that was Washington because of Ron Rivera. But keep in mind, they sold the team. So
they
now
sold the team. They sold the team. Everybody and their grandma's going up against seems to be going for Jim Harbaugh. You know, I've seen him linked to like 4.
There's only 2 jobs. There's only 2 jobs that he should take if he decides to go, right? One is Chicago, right?
I don't think Chicago's going to fire their coach.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
They're kind of decent.
Yeah, and the other one is, well, they made a quick turnaround because the coach and the quarterback were gone, right? 5 weeks ago, a month ago. And all of a sudden, I would say that job or the Chargers. The Chargers, with that defense and that offense, you should not be that bad.
One would think. But they that's been thrown out there. I saw some Raiders noise for him. You know, always a dicey game taking the Raiders gig.
Right. Like here. You are in a position where you can control what happens, right? Why would you go into a situation that's basically uncontrollable? You see what I mean?
Yeah, something's going to Raider. It's like it's going to happen.
Right. Either they don't have a quarterback. They're still trying to figure that thing out. And so there's only a handful of teams that, I mean, how do you feel about Desmond Ridder? You know, right. So
the Dolphins are going to Kansas City. That is their punishment for blowing the division.
They're going to Antarctica.
I was a little surprised by this, but I guess this just speaks to how much people are falling off on their belief of Kansas City. They're only a 3.5 point favorite, Kansas City. I would have thought I was expecting to fully go see the spread and the Dolphins be like 5.5 point dogs.
Really?
But
see, I thought it would be 3 or less.
I'm surprised. I'm a little surprised.
Here's why. It's got nothing to do with the Dolphins. Kansas City can't score.
They can't score. But the defense is good.
Okay, but they can't score. So
can the Dolphins score?
Can
the Dolphins score anymore?
That is in the last month and a half. That is probably the single-handed most baffling thing about this team. But here's the deal. It only happens with a handful of teams. And these handful of teams play very similar defenses. And so from that standpoint, can I see it? Yes, because you know who you talk about when a team beats the Dolphins and slows them down offensively? You don't talk about the secondary. You don't talk about the pass rush. You talk about the ability of the linebackers to get depth, right? And that's the thing about what Buffalo did. Now, I thought it was going to be a long day for Buffalo when we ran for 108 yards in the first half. I really did. And for reasons I cannot explain, you went from faking it one way, pitching it the other way, and they're all running for the fake, to just throwing it to the fake side. And then he just ran over there and made the play. Once you realize that they were going to do the same thing, just keep running the fake.
That's the thing, man. It's like it was, and the thing is that Achane is so damn fast. Like, you'll take his 4-yard losses that he seems to have once a drive, because that dude's gonna bust one for 15, 20. He's so damn fast. It's very exciting to watch him play. But yeah, man, it just feels like I don't know. I think with Mike, like, Mike's still a young play caller too. He's only in his second year, but they made such an emphasis on this end of the year thing. He did. I mean, he mentioned it every week. We're playing for the games that matter. We're playing for the games that matter. We're playing for December and January. And they were awful. Like, once again, like, they were awful at this end of at this end stretch.
1-3 or 2-2?
2-2.
2-2. Right.
2-2. But like,
you had to win 2 of your last 3 to win.
But the chaos, and we knew that it was going to be a gauntlet. We knew it. I mean, like, we looked at that schedule. We're like, oh, that's going to be crazy. Okay, you get clubbed by Baltimore. Cool, fine, all right. Lick your wounds, get back out there. But man, it's just every one of these games where they feel like they have this thing, and then they find a way. I mean, that 95-yard punt return, I was just like,
caught you so off guard, because I was thinking, oh my goodness, he's catching it at the 5, right?
Yeah.
You weren't thinking that. You were thinking, oh, we're going to stop him inside the 10. Oh, this is going to be good field position drive. If we can get 3 and out, we're going to get goof. Touchdown.
Brutal.
And it wasn't. And by the way, it looked like he was just running a strider, because he didn't get touched.
You didn't feel like Bailey was going to chase him down?
No. I felt like Bailey was going to try to chase him, blow at his hammy, and then we were not going to have a punter the way everything was going.
So bummed, man. And like, the thing that annoys me about,
guess what? Here's the thing, Tobes. Here's the thing. The ending to the season sucked.
Yes.
Okay. It was unfortunate that you went back to back and you played not the 2 games you want to play going into the playoffs.
Definitely not.
You just don't. Especially against Buffalo, because they did everything but score touchdowns for you. But you're here now. You're in the playoffs. and you're going to Kansas City.
Yeah, I know, but it's like
the only way you can make it better is to go there and win a football game. So that's all you can worry about.
And I'm with you. And I'm not saying it's impossible to be Kansas City. There's certainly.
Let's be clear. I'm gonna ask you a fair question, an honest question.
Okay.
Would you have rather win the division and play Buffalo?
Yes.
Again.
We talked about this. We talked about this on the pregame yesterday because people were saying like, "Oh, I don't want to face Buffalo back-to-back weeks." I'm like, well, first of all, if that happens, that means you beat Buffalo, which means you're going to be feeling a different level of confidence with reinforcements coming next week, assuming you stay relatively healthy, which they did not. I mean, Vin Ginkel got hurt, but
what do we know what's wrong with him?
Foot, I think they said X-rays were negative. But the thing but this is Leroy, the big thing in the playoffs, it's hard to go win on the road, and especially this team is not good on the road. So if you could be the 2 seed and have a bad bounce, Joe Flacco going and beating Lamar Jackson, you would be in a situation where you could have had the conference championship in your house. Like that, I don't care about replay against the Bills. This team, Leroy, can you honestly say in your heart of hearts, this team, the way they've looked on the road, they're going to go in this scenario to get to the Super Bowl, Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo. Can they go to those 3 cities and win? Very unlikely.
No. Very unlikely. Very unlikely. But I would say this to you. Will you feel differently if they go and beat Kansas City?
I will feel good as they have beaten the defending champ. Here's what I'll feel good about. I'll be like, okay, good. You guys took a step. You did something the franchise hasn't done in 23 years. That's something to take the stink off of this. Will I really feel like they can go and beat Lamar Jackson? They'd have to light Kansas City's ass up. Light their ass up.
I don't even care about, I don't care if it's ugly. If you get a win next Saturday, and then you come back, whoever you're going to get ready for, whoever that may be, are you going to say or feel like, okay, this is a successful season? It didn't end the way we wanted it to, but now we have a chance for one win to go to the AFC Championship. I don't care who you play, because there's something about this offense that if it gets going, it's unstoppable.
Look, talk to me after Cheetah has 2 petty touchdowns. I'll feel different probably, but I need that. I can't. Wait. I can't see that right now.
Feel better.
I don't know,
because you're having a problem with this basic concept of sports. Move on.
It's 24-hour rule.
You're big task at hand guy, right? The task at hand is going up to Arrowhead and beating all the Swifties.
Oh man, Swiftie was mad last night. Did you see her?
No.
Oh, I'll tell you about it coming up next.
The Heat are
To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/JOY.
They say the best time to buy is after the holidays. And at JM Lexus, we couldn't agree more. Right now. And with no dealer fee, you'll save even more on both 23 and 24 Lexus models. We have a 4.8 Google rating with over 17,000 reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. The holidays may be over, but the savings continue.
When you think Lexus, think JM Lexus.
Want to listen to us anywhere, live or on demand? Just download the free Odyssey app and make WQAM your favorite station. And there we are, 24/7.
One more time.
All right, welcome back. JFig, you're fighting with me off the air. Trying to make do, JFig. I don't know what to tell you.
We just got to forgive everyone in South Florida. Be extra patient today if you're listening. Everyone's going through something.
Yeah, everybody's going through something. All the pain that everybody's feeling. I understand. I'll give you some headlines here brought to you by New Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Commanders have fired Ron. Commanders have fired Ron Rivera and their GM. Panthers also fired their GM, Scott Fitterer, after their 2-win season. Falcons fired Arthur Smith. Bill Belichick did say in a press conference today, because I guess he's meeting with Robert Kraft, he did say that he would, I guess, concede some personnel power if that's what they determine. So I don't know if that's going to end up leading to him wanting to stay, or if Robert Kraft's going to want him to stay. But
hey, you see how Belichick coaches? Now, I will say this. Belichick coaches have had a boatload of success in college. Okay? But do you see how they're sprinkled all over the NFL and then ruining other teams? Because look at what's happening to the Eagles.
Oh, with Patricia?
Woo!
It's amazing.
Woo!
That's crazy.
Hey,
I mean, that
was one of the best defenses in the league.
I'll tell you what.
A nosebleed.
No one wants to hear this in town because the Dolphins have their own collapse, but the Jags and the Eagles collapses are very impressive. Very impressive collapses. Those two teams, wow.
At least they collapsed. Well, at least with Philly, the collapse didn't eliminate them from playoff contention.
Dude, how annoying yesterday. I got to tell you, it's hard to bitch, to bitch about this because we lost, but my God, these national broadcasters with Josh Allen. I mean, it is. Whew. And Chris Collinsworth, that dude gave Romo a run for his money. He was so proud.
Yes. Look at that run. Look at that.
Oh,
that's getting it.
Mike, I mean, this guy, he was so proud of this Buffalo bobsled that he came up with. He ran that into the ground. I'm like, oh my God, enough already, dude. Enough.
And they had game ops.
I know.
They showed a 2-man bobsled team.
I was like, God, enough already. Enough. And then I probably jinxed this, so I probably shouldn't have tweeted it. But I saw during the game, Barry Jackson had tweeted that if the Dolphins had won, that they were going to get the Romo game next week, and I was like, oh my God, I got to do this again with the broadcasters.
What are you doing?
Should have just left it alone though.
Put your thumbs down.
Now we get the Peacock game.
Now, yeah, you're definitely not going to have the Romo game.
No, we don't. I don't even know who we get. I don't know who's the NBC B team. Who's that? Who is that? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Is the guy who does Notre Dame games is doing our game? Like, who the hell does these games? I just miss Harlan. I miss Harlan, man.
Oh gosh,
I miss Harlan doing games.
So here's the deal.
Yeah.
I know you would have liked to end on a very positive note.
Yeah.
I personally would just like, I never thought I'd say this, for the offense to catch up with the defense.
It's very frustrating.
Because now I feel you're going to have to rely more on the offense than the defense. Because, people were complaining, why doesn't Fangs keep blitzing? I'm going to tell you, when certain guys get into a game, right? When you get farther and farther down that depth chart and you want to play a certain style, you got to look at that guy and say, does he know what the hell he's doing?
Look, dude, for me, I know the yardages were crazy. You held that team to 14 points. And yes, I get it. There was some flaky, especially at the end of the half. James Cook dropping a touchdown.
Or how about you dropping 17 people in the end zone?
Yeah, what was that?
What was that? That wasn't the last play.
I don't know what that was. Even Tua was like, what? What? Like, what? What are we doing?
Can we a couple of more defenders? Now it worked out.
The defense was
terrifying.
The defense was certainly buoyed by Josh Allen being a dummy, but 14 points, like, I can't say anything about the defense.
Right,
you can't say anything about the defense.
Right.
They came up with the nails play every time. Jerome Baker with a big hit, Christian Wilkins with the strip, even dumb Eli Apple, who decided to take a pick out the end zone.
Oh my goodness. Why did he look like he was running like Looney Tunes with the motor oil slipped on the floor of the slime?
I know you.
Where did he think he was going to go, too?
I don't know. That's not
doing?
Marcos. That's not the worst part. He fell down without anybody within 20 yards of him.
Nope.
There was nobody. He would have ran the midfield. There was nobody around him. His legs just gave out.
Was that the most Dolphins you've ever seen run into each other during a game?
Oh, my goodness. Look.
I mean, it was crazy. How many Dolphins just seemed like they were taking each other out during this game?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. People don't want me to play the traditional song coming up. They don't want me to play Hour Tua. I've been getting lit because I've just been getting lit up. I've been getting lit up on social media.
No.
Lit up.
Hold on. First of all, this has nothing to do with how well or how poorly Tua plays.
Mm-hmm.
It's Hour Tua.
I know.
And we don't have Hour Tua to celebrate the past.
It's I mean, it is, but it's like, people don't want to hear.
Wait, Marcos. Who's the guy talking about tradition? You want to have the turnover chain with a team that was terrible. And
it's
now
fair.
you refuse
a fair
to
critique.
do
It's a fair critique, but I'm just letting you know people are mad. People,
you better do it. You better do it.
All right. Back after this.
Hey, down on the
culture permeates through our employees.
HD2 Miami, WKIS HD2 Boca Raton, the home of the defending Eastern Conference champion Miami Heat, the defending Eastern Conference champion Florida Panthers, the Miami Hurricanes, and Leagues Cup champion Inter Miami CF. An Odyssey station.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
It's Hour Tua. It's Hour Tua. It's Hour Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tagovailoa, not French's quarterback. A forever Dolphins quarterback.
Oof.
Tua. It's Hour Tua. It's Hour Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Chris Sims can still go to hell. But maybe he had some points. Tua. Dolphins quarterback. Dolphins quarterback.
Oh my God. What the hell's wrong with you?
For Tobin!
Wow, dude.
Wait.
Wow.
And you know that had to be made between 12 midnight and 10 this morning.
Wow.
Oh,
So good.
I was very drunk.
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What? Dude. You need somebody to hug you right now. You on like,
Do you own a piano? I imagine you own a piano.
this dude is the epitome of the ebbs and flows of being a fan, right? Because you went from do you have the guts to now you need to be on Suicide Watch.
I just need 24 hours. I was just going through it. Sad. I'm sad for Christian Wilkins,
who balled out.
Tua can't look at Christian Wilkins today. Like, don't. All right. Just let him get extra snacks. All right. And just move on and film today.
You got people crying, lighting lighters. Oh my goodness.
So appropriate though.
This like, dude, the slow, miserable piano player. I just picture a piano player crying, right?
People are like, where did you
smoking a cigarette with a whiskey?
Yeah. It's not easy to find your musical inspiration always enjoys. Sometimes you need pain, and that's what I had yesterday.
Wow, my goodness, dude!
Especially with stupid Josh Allen running to that dumb Bills Mafia in the corner. God, it's so annoying.
Man,
so
I thought this game was going to be so awesome. All my friends prepared.
I know.
I'm like, they sent me a picture of tailgate. They had like 20 lobster tails on the grill. I'm like, who tailgates with lobster tails?
That's fancy.
That's fancy. They are ready.
Dave South says Tobin recorded that with an undone bow tie.
Yeah, like the end of the night, look, he had his tie pulled down with a cigarette. You know what everybody remember when Adam Sandler, was it the Wedding Singer? Yeah. That's what he's like.
Sir, I will strangle you with my microphone wire.
Oh my goodness, dude. You have hit.
I'm with Dr. Toboggan. I was losing my mind.
You haven't hit an all new low or an all new high. I don't know. Like that's
Dr. Toboggan says I was losing my mind when Wilkins stole the ball. Oh, me too, dude. You know, it was one of those things where my whole house was sleeping too, so like I had to do the silent freak out in my living room because like when he stole that, but you know Wilkins and Josh Allen not fond of one another. You know, right. So when Wilkins he finally probably thinks I got him, and then even like to get him again, you see how pissed Josh Allen was at that one stop, and Wilkins is of course chicanery in the middle of the dog pile, of course. I was Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins deserved that game so hard.
Oh my goodness, he was awesome.
He was so awesome, and the Dolphins are dropping like flies.
And you know we have to watch. There's always going to be one or two plays where Sealer and on up is chasing somebody, and it doesn't look
see, here's the thing: as friends, you can laugh at Josh Allen runs past Zach Sealer, and then Christian Wilkins has to go chase him down. He goes, "I got it, buddy. Just get a breather. Get a breather, Zach."
Here's something I never want to see again: Melvin Ingram chasing a running back.
Oh my God!
Oh, remember when he was covering the tight end?
Was it the tight end?
Oh, that tight! Oh my
goodness!
Oh my God! We just kept getting hit.
You know when you know somebody's not fast when they go out to run and they're more concerned with their pants being pulled up. So he starts tugging on his pants while he's chasing. Like, yo, oh no, you're not committed to this. But that's where they were on defense, dude. Like, what do? You can't change the game plan, right? But that's one of the, I'm like, oh.
Brutal. Chunky number 9.
Oh my goodness, dude. He made Bradley Chubb. He made Bradley Chubb look like Tyreek.
Bro, who the hell did the Dolphins go to get after this quarterback? They don't have Van Ginkel now. Like, do they got to go get JPP back off the streets? Like, what do they do?
I guess
you can do that in the playoffs, right? That's allowed.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. I gotta imagine you
can always sign guys. There's no. It's not like other sports where you have a playoff roster because in basketball and baseball you have to decide before the playoffs, right?
Multiple people saying get Cam Wake, see what he's doing.
Right.
I mean, we did spend time on the pregame show yesterday wondering if Brent Grimes off the couch could be better in coverage than Eli Apple. Why wasn't Eli Apple ever a safety? He's kind of good at tackling. Why is he? But he gets roasty toasted.
Oh my goodness!
Can I tell you? I hit I was like 4 tackles. Eli Apple under. Of course, this guy's a tackling machine yesterday.
He was.
Can I just tell you?
Yeah, including Brandon Jones.
Any bet that involves Eli Apple usually results in you losing money.
Yep.
Any bet. And they were like praising him. They were like, "Oh, you got a veteran like Eli Apple." I'm like, huh?
How the hell did Sherfield catch that touchdown? Bounced off the helmet. How the hell did he catch that?
And you know what's crazy? you do realize that when the ball was tipped, they could have just pushed him out of bounds. Like, it didn't matter whether it was pass. There's no pass interference when the ball's tipped.
I didn't know
so
that.
They could have went and tackled him instead of sitting there watching and going, there's no way he can Because that's what it was, right?
You know what the thing that annoyed?
And the defensive guys are so just as shocked as we are going, he got that?
Josh Hart's like, Eli just literally stared at him. And you know what another thing that kills me, Leroy? If Sherfield dropped that ball and all Eli Apple did was stare at him, you know Eli Apple's throwing up the got him! Got him!
Goodness. Oh my goodness. That would have
Jesus.
All right. Well,
All right.
the good news is that this segment's almost up. The bad news is that 24 hours, we still got like 12 hours to go.
You want to hear the song one more time?
Oh, I kind of do. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Play us out.
It's Hour Tua.
I feel like I need to be smoking something, right?
It's Hour Tua.
It don't even have to be legal.
It's Hour Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tonga Valoa. Not French's quarterback. They forever. Dolphins quarterback. Tua. It's Hour Tua. It's Hour Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Chris Sims can still go to hell. But maybe he had some points. Tua. Dolphins quarterback. Dolphins quarterback.
service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited.
What I want, you got, and it might be hard to handle, but like a flame that burns.
Welcome back, you rascals. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Hey, I got to give a shout out. We'll get to cat talk coming on up, but I got to give a shout out to the Cats. Cats are rolling right now, man. We're a hockey town. We're a hockey town right now. Seven straight for the Florida Panthers. We'll get more into it coming on up in cat talk, but they lit up Colorado this past weekend. And they be rolling right now, dude. The Cats are absolutely on fire. Sam Reinhart had a hat trick for the Cats. Matthew Tkachuk stays on fire. They're off till tomorrow. Probably smart. You got national championship tonight. Heat will be back in action tonight. But they've been awesome. So shout out to the Cats in the midst of this Dolphins stink. And Silly Sauce points out, yes, they've been beating good teams too. They've been taking out some real ones. This has not been a fugazi streak that the Cats are on. They are absolutely kicking ass right now. Of course, you got the national championship tonight. Leroy's got to be having the Goosies. You got Michigan taking on Washington. Where is he? Where did he go?
I cut him some slack. It takes him some time to get to and from the restroom. So
the old need time to pee.
Yeah, it's their thing. It's one of their things. But he has returned, luckily, and is joining us now.
How do you feel, buddy? You got a big one tonight. You got the Goosies.
Yeah. I do. I got invited again. What a terrible time to have surgery.
I know, right?
But I literally would not have been able to walk a week later. That's how bad it was getting.
Would you go to a victory parade if they invite you to a float? Would you go to a victory parade?
No.
Why not?
Why not? Dude, I'm like, there ain't nobody going to be happier than me. But that don't mean I want to go up in the cold and sit on a no. Because if I could make it to the game, I'm not going to a celebration. Even though I'll be as excited as anybody, right? So yeah.
Are you on a Michigan Legends group chat tonight?
Yeah, a little bit, but it sucks because keep in mind, most of my people are in Ohio.
Do you know Duncan Robinson was asked by I think Ira last week if he was going to ask for a personal day for the national championship. I think Duncan deserves it. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, remember Kyle Lowry did it for the Eagles, right?
Yeah, Kyle Lowry took personal time. Then all of a sudden he was at an Eagles game. Let Dunks go. I would give Dunks the day off against the Rockets to go check out the go check out the national championship. Duncan Robinson went with all the G Leaguers to San Antonio in the preseason. He deserves a personal day.
Hey, I'm seeing why Arthur Smith got fired.
Oh, did you see that after the? Well, that was crazy. So
it had nothing to do with anything but getting that kid a touchdown.
Yeah.
Right? And that was it. He wasn't trying to be disrespectful.
But they faked the kneel down and then and threw the touchdown.
I don't know. I don't think so. They just look like they handed it off. Well, here's what happened. You ready?
A fake tush push.
No, here's what happened. You know how they put the guy deep? So like you're taking a knee. So they had the guy deep. And they still handed it off to give the guy his touchdown.
Oh, I think Arthur Smith is just lashing out with knowing he was probably going to get fired. I think they faked the victory formation. I think the guys are saying they faked the kneel down and then ran it in. Like Saints put it on him yesterday.
And let me say this. There is no love lost between New Orleans and Atlanta
That's true.
So I bet you everybody in New Orleans was cheering. I promise you that. That would be the equivalent to the Dolphins doing that to Buffalo. Right? Like, there's just certain teams. Like, I don't care if the blood is bad. Yeah, I don't care. That's how we feel. That's how, if you're from New Orleans, you feel about Atlanta. End of story. That's how you feel. So
let's see. Josh says Dolphins are the Lakers. They basically won the in-season tournament against the Broncos and downhill since. Did you guys see that report that LeBron James apparently like yelled at his team while like AD was talking to the media? Because he was like, somebody asked about like Bronny. Be like, he can play for us right now. Easy. I was like, geez, he is pissed with his team. He's done with the Lakers, huh?
who
LeBron.
Yeah. Well,
Although he did dunk on Paul George yesterday at the age of 40.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he went at it like he was going to do a finger roll or something. He said, you know what? Most of the time.
He jumped from the free throw damn near.
Crazy.
How small? Wait, here's the most incredible thing. When he dunked, how small did Paul George look? Didn't he look tiny? I'm like,
I didn't think it was Paul George. That's gotta suck though. You couldn't do it on one of these rookies. Jesus.
I mean, like,
DB Law says, can we stop blaming injuries for the problems that have persisted the entire season? Tua has been bad against the good teams all season long. Injuries have nothing to do with that.
Can I? I'm going to say this. I pointed this out, right? We are putting on a person, and I'm telling you, it's about adjustments, because all of these teams, they start the game off and things look good, right? Even with Baltimore, it wasn't a runaway as early, that early. But as soon as the other team starts making adjustments, it becomes chaos. You spend 3 or 4 series, 3 and outs, or getting 1 first down and unable to move the ball, and the other team is scoring.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't think people want to hear this, but that's kind of where you have to have patience with a young coach, right? Like, it sucks. I know it's not an answer anybody wants to hear, because like he's obviously an easy target because he's weird and he's quirky, and to be fair, he talked up this end of the season all year. That's all he talked about. We're going to be playing for this. We're going to be playing for this. And then yesterday he's saying, well, if we would have taken care of business against the teams we should have. It's like, dude, you had one screw up against Tennessee, and valid. You would have not had to have this game, but like, don't tell me you have to take care of your business again. You're admitting we have to take care of our business against the bad teams because we can't beat the good teams. Like, that one disappointed me a little bit from Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, and look, here's the other thing. You can pick and choose what portions of Tua you want to like or hate, right? But however you want to look at it, the numbers speak for themselves. And you can say Tua's not elite, or you can say Tua's not. You think that there's another quarterback that can make the throws that Tua makes? That's the question you need to ask yourself. And go ahead, show me a quarterback who's been that accurate, right? For that long of a stretch of time, a whole season.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ask you, who?
But the thing is, Leroy, like it feels like if you have elite talent on defense, or you can scheme it out, like he seems gettable. Like he does. I get it, like over the numbers, but the majority of the games you play were not against good teams. They weren't. I mean, those are just the facts of it. And his last, like, he had a streak of, since the after he had like the Jets game, I think he went 4 straight without a pick. And then he goes multiple pick games against the Ravens and the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he didn't have the cleanest season either. I get that he's accurate and that he's got the balls to throw it in the middle of the field, but if he has a receiver, and this is kind of the thing where it's tough because you put all your stock into these 2 receivers. So if you don't have Waddle and Tyreek out there and they're not on the same page with Tua, like Chase Claypool, like he's going to be done because he does everything with anticipation on pristine routes.
But that's listen, that works with any quarterback. Okay, any quarterback who throws the ball to a spot or who releases the ball quickly, that's the way that is. Look, Tom Brady was the same way, right? As he got older, everything became more timing instead of seeing and throwing. So that's not a unique thing. Wide receivers being asked to be in a certain spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is offensive football. Okay, I get what everybody's saying. Okay, but he doesn't do that against good teams. Because you know what? They have better athletes and better talent to guard certain areas of the field, and you need to adjust.
I know, but then the answer can't be, well, the numbers speak for themselves but they don't all the time because
okay, you think so let me get this straight, because this is what I would like to emphasize. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, as soon as a player or something doesn't play up to your standard, you think you could just go get a new one. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you,
mm-hmm.
You think you could get anybody to lead the league in passing?
No, I don't think that. I don't think that.
And so that's the issue that I have. You may not be happy with Tua. You may not like the way he's played against the good teams, but it's a team thing, right? It's not just him. And we overlook all the circumstances sometimes to make our point. Like, I'm not going to just miss a guy who led the league in passing.
I get it, but
I think over a period of time, I could work with that.
I get it. Like, look, and if you're Mike McDaniel and you're saying, well, if we don't blow the Titans game, okay, but you did, and now you needed to go get one against one of these teams at the end of this thing to not cough it up, and he couldn't do it. And I didn't give him a lot of flack for the Ravens game because that was a whole team ass kicking. But yesterday, hey, your defense gave you a couple of opportunities. You could have, when Wilkins gets the turnover, go and extend your lead. Couldn't do it. When Wilkins and the defense gets you the ball back to tie it, couldn't do it. That's just what it is, man. I mean, if you're gonna play these, if you're expected,
both can be true. Both can be true. You can be 100% right, and I can be 100% right. Yeah, there's a couple of moments in this season that you would have liked to perform better. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as keeping or getting rid of a player,
I'm not getting rid of him.
No, I'm just saying, for people to be so, he's just this, he's just average. He's not average.
But there is gonna be like that is gonna, I do think that the Dolphins will ask themselves, like, you know, are they gonna give him $50 million a year? I don't know. Probably.
You definitely have to. You definitely, Leroy is protecting Tua. He's not that dude, man. Okay. Here's what you guys need to understand. I live and talk about football based on one basic concept. You don't need a Hall of Fame quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Okay? What happens is these quarterbacks end up winning the Super Bowl, and then you say we need one of those, right? But understand this. Right now, everybody would say, I'd take Josh Allen over Tua. But the same argument can be made for Josh Allen. He makes big mistakes at the wrong times. How can he be our guy when he can't get us over the hump? He can't win a championship for us. The same argument can be made for him. So how long are we going to have this conversation? And how far does the conversation go? Because according to fans and according to people talking about football, there's only about 3 quarterbacks in the league are worth having.
Here's the thing I think I would say with Josh Allen, and I don't like him. You know that. I don't like the Bills, but I will give – this is what I would give to Josh Allen as his flowers, is that if Tua has a game, if Leroy, if Tua ever started a game like that where he had 2 picks and a fumble, the Dolphins are probably out of that game. No shot ever to win that game.
Okay.
And Josh Allen, because of his physicality, because of his ability to take hits and run, because he is a moose, you know, he can have a grand eraser on some stuff and make up for that. And I think with Tua, it just feels like, you know, if he were to implode like that, like he can't rally you back. That's just the feeling of it. Doesn't mean he look, maybe he'll do it this week against Kansas City, but it is a disappointment for fans, and I think especially the people who have hung in the pocket with Tua, thinking that he's going to be that guy, and you're just like you're waiting for him to reward you, and for the key moments, that moment, for it not to be there yesterday was a gut punch. It sucked,
but it was a key moment 2 weeks ago, and we just overlooked that. Like, it's not happening as frequent as you want because everybody wants their players to have success all the time. Okay. Mm-hmm. But he was in the same situation against Dallas and he came through.
He didn't do great, though. He really didn't do great. He came
through when he had to at the end to kick the field goal.
He did enough.
Okay. But that counts. I'm not trying to be a Tua apologist, so stop it. But what I'm doing is keeping football real because fans are quick to say, bum, get rid of him. And I'm just trying to warn you on that.
I can't be clearer on this. I don't want to get rid of Tua. I like Tua. I just think, you know, I'm just hoping that, you know, and it is great. He played the whole season, led the league in passing. A lot of those numbers are great. Now it's about like, all right, these key moments when you need the team and they put you, it was a non-perfect situation yesterday. And it kind of just feels like he needs everything to be humming for him to get it right. And that's the thing that was just disappointing with yesterday. We'll take a break.
Is it possible for him to get better at those moments?
Oh, for sure.
Week. Okay.
Yeah, listen, I was saying this yesterday in the pregame.
Because 3 years from now, if dude is lighting the world on fire and big and so much better in all these situations, right?
Sure.
I don't want people to look back and just go, "Oh, Tua's the guy," right?
Lamar Jackson has one playoff win, and the Panthers and the Falcons didn't want to trade for him in the offseason. They look like morons right now.
Right. And Josh Allen won a Super Bowl?
No.
Okay. All right.
No. And if they beat the Chiefs, well, maybe I'll feel better. But I can't think about that right now.
You'll definitely feel better.
I need 2 cheetah deuces.
QAM.
Make sure you have the Odyssey app. It's an easy way to listen to us wherever you are. Make WQAM your favorite station and take us wherever you go.
Bum, 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 bum. This guy's a ball.
Oh, baby. Time to get to our favorite part of a Monday. Leroy gathers around the locker room and hands out his game balls and game bums. But before that, we have your chance to go see Udonis Haslem night at the Kaseya Center. UD is getting his jersey, number 40, raised to the rafters on January 19th. We call that Tommy birthday eve around these parts. If you guys want to go see UD get his jersey raised to the rafters, text the word HEAT to 20357. That's HEAT to 20357. And you could win. Be there when UD's jersey is retired. For more details, go to WQAM.com. The Heat back on the hardwood tonight against the Rockets. Leroy, what do we got for game balls and game bums today, man?
So my game ball is going to go to CJ Stroud. And D'Amico Ryans.
Wow.
And the Houston Texans, because they were afterthought when the season started.
Yep.
I even complained about a black coach getting that job because it seemed like it was failure waiting to happen. And we were all wrong. Everybody. They are division champs and are hosting a playoff game.
Bro,
with the first time it's happened with a new coach and a rookie quarterback since the 1940s.
How about the fact that people are talking about the you know how the joke of the NFL being scripted, and like you just look at these matchups this week and it's like Cheetah return to Arrowhead, Mike McCarthy taking on the Green Bay Packers. Matthew Stafford returns to Detroit.
Goff and Stafford switching teams.
And but Browns Texans. How about the Texans back in the playoffs with the division for the team already? And their quarterback isn't even playing for the Browns. It's Joe Flacco.
Right. Exactly.
Crazy,
right.
Dude.
Crazy. It is and guess what? TV and football couldn't even make this up. This is just lucky.
It's crazy, dude. It's a wild one. It's going to be a fun weekend. It is going to be a fun weekend with a lot of matchups. But yeah, congrats to CJ Stroud and congrats to the Jaguars jagging.
Which brings me to my next point. You bums. You bums.
Bum.
What the hell was that, Jacksonville? Come on. Bum. For the division.
Somebody tweeted out yesterday, I think it was Kevin Clark from ESPN, and he says the Jaguars, I think over the last 10 years, have had one double-digit win season, led by Blake Bortles.
And that's when they played him instead of...
Yeah, with he said it. Now, mind you, Kevin, it wasn't led by Blake Bortles. It was in spite of Blake Bortles. I saw a lot of Jags fans yesterday being like, oh, I miss Blake Bortles. No, you don't. But I will say, Trevor Lawrence. Whew.
So let me ask you this question. Because right now, do you think this team would be better off with either Herbert or Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback?
So if the Dolphins could trade for Herbert or Trevor Lawrence, you're saying?
Trevor Lawrence, yeah.
No,
you think
I think Tua is better than those. No, I think Tua is better than those guys.
But that's you see what I mean? Like, I get everybody being upset.
What's better though? Like, what's better about Tua?
Accuracy. Putting up touchdowns.
Okay. That's his thing, accuracy. But for whatever.
Marcus, did you watch the end of Jaguars yesterday? Like, Trevor Lawrence literally couldn't throw a 5-yard out. He was like throwing it into the stands.
Everything was in the first row.
And he also turns the football over a lot. And the thing with him is, like, nobody gives him heat because he's the Jaguars quarterback.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be God's gift to football. Like, people were talking about Trevor Lawrence as a prospect for 3 years because he won the championship, just like Tua won the championship very, very young. So we're like, oh, can't wait for Trevor Lawrence. And they've been aight. They've been aight. But they had an epic collapse. They lost 5 out of 6 to end the season. Their only win coming against the Carolina Panthers.
Right.
They were 8-3. Like,
somebody said Jim Harbaugh would turn Justin Herbert into a champ. That I don't disagree with. And I also don't agree with kid from the Texans is better. Let's give him another year under his belt.
I mean, we'll see. Look, we'll see if Jim Harbaugh will turn Justin Herbert into a champion. But sometimes, you know what, guys? Like, we can keep making excuses for Justin Herbert if you want to, but sometimes the guy is what he is.
Right.
You know? Like,
should we be saying that about our quarterback, though?
We are, but a lot of people are. Like, I've been waiting for that moment, and maybe I will never be rewarded for it. But
can you win with Tua?
Serious winning? You can win games. Can you win? Can you get to the Super Bowl with him? Can you get to the conference championship with him?
Yeah.
I'm struggling to get into the playoffs with him.
I mean, because we're having these conversations, but the guys that we're putting on the current day Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks haven't won either.
You're right. The only guy.
So why? The only guy is Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
So while we're sitting here having these conversations about Tua and all these other places that have these so-called elite quarterbacks, the same conversations were had about them. The same conversations was had about Lamar Jackson. Am I not correct? We can't pay him for it as being elite. He only has one playoff win.
No, Lamar. It's totally fair. Lamar Jackson probably has more pressure on him in this playoff than anybody.
He's about to win his second MVP. But again, he has one playoff win. Now, I get it. Everybody sees him play. I'm not even going to argue whether he's better than Tua. That's not my point. My point is that while you're sitting here saying or fans don't believe you can win with Tua, okay, I can say the same thing about Lamar Jackson based on the numbers, on the facts.
But let's just get to all right. Well, let's just start with just winning the AFC East. Like, in a bad Bills year where they had a 3-game deficit to make up, and you let them back in the back door to chase you down for the division. And yeah, it's tough not to look at it and be like, Josh Allen. Now, Josh Allen, yes, he giveth a lot. But, you know, with the Dolphins, he basically just taketh their joy all the time because he always beats the Dolphins. And I think the thing that sucks is last year, the Bills Dolphins games were very, very close. They were very, very close. And this year, your Dolphins Bills experience was they drubbed you. And then at the end of the season, they kicked you right in the nuts. And it's hard to see your rival do that. It doesn't make for logic. Right now is not a logic time for the Dolphin fan because they're just hurt. They want to believe that this team is going to be different than the last 23 years. And, you know, if they don't get this done if they win in Kansas City, they do something they haven't done in a quarter century, great. That's definitely going to go a long way and heal a lot of stuff.
We'll just move the bar. We'll just move it.
Some will. But
you see what I'm saying? We do realize that this team, when you know how long it's been since the Dolphins have made the playoffs in back-to-back years?
But we have such the perfect.
How many years?
About 20.
Yeah, it sounds right.
So,
like early 2000s.
So and look, I'm not telling you you're wrong for thinking what you think about Tua. He performed poorly yesterday.
Again.
But what I am saying is this. Like, he's still doing good things. This is not a Ryan Tannehill situation. Ryan Tannehill never led the league in
I agree with that. Yeah, and people are comparing this to Tannehill, and I don't think it's Tannehill.
Right. But from that standpoint,
same amount of success.
This is Tua's, for all intents and purposes, his second year. Right? Like, Patrick Mahomes did it he won the Super Bowl his second year starting.
Yes.
Right? He also sat for 2 years or a year.
Yeah.
He sat
for a year.
Right. So, like, we can compare all these quarterbacks and we can do all these things, but my thing is this. You look at a position and you look at a player, you say, can I win with this guy? You can win with Tua, right? You can win with Tua, right? Is he going to look like Patrick Mahomes? No. Is he going to look like Lamar Jackson? No. But Lamar Jackson has one more playoff win than Tua. One.
Yeah, here's the counter to that, Leroy, I would say is even if you want to consider Tua a young quarterback, and I think 4 years, like, I don't know if I consider him young anymore, but like he's going to start entering that prime of whatever it is. This team went all in money wise. Like they're about to, they went all in and they were the ones talking Super Bowl. They're the ones who were saying what their expectations were. And they seemed like they set themselves up to be in a great spot.
Mm-hmm.
And every time it felt like a real test came some real adversity. Like this coach said, adversity is opportunity. Adversity is opportunity. Every time adversity went to the center of the ring with them, it knocked the Dolphins to the ground like Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. It was like, so that's the thing that's frustrating about it. But let's not lose sight of the fact of, the Jaguars bums.
They say Leroy comparing. I'm not comparing Lamar to Tua. You guys missed the point, right? Like the complaints about Tua is he can't win big games. The complaint about Tua is he plays poorly against good teams. We have these conversations, and we've had these conversations about other players, right? Hell, before this past season, there were two guys we had this conversation with. Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson.
Right.
One team didn't want to pay Lamar Jackson because of the same stuff we're talking about Tua. And Dak, the owner was even, I don't know.
Look, I don't
of it.
I don't think Lamar Jackson, I think Lamar Jackson is good enough to win the Super Bowl, but if Lamar Jackson loses to Joe Flacco in a week, people's conversations are going to come back right up again. It's going to.
Is Peyton Manning one of the greatest quarterbacks you've ever seen? Yes. Right?
Yeah, of course.
Hall of Famer, everything.
Hmm?
He didn't win right away. In fact, he had one of the worst statistical rookie seasons ever. Like,
I feel like he was competitive by year 4.
Okay.
I don't know if Tua's competitive right now.
This is his what? This is his
fourth year.
But he has everything, though. He has the best defensive coordinator. He has one of the best defenses.
What is that? Wait.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with Tua?
His whole team is lined up for him to have success, and he's not taking somewhere he needs to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolute. Okay.
Best weapons, best
that.
running game, best coach.
Okay. And I question some of the adjustments, right?
For sure.
Okay. It's a growing look.
That's the interesting thing is like Mike and Tua are so locked in at the hip, and it does feel like they're both like they are still both kind of new to this because Tua was a bit of a rehab project. We've done that till we're blue in the face, and it's a great story. It's a great story between both of them. But I think both of them, when it comes to adjusting to what teams throw at them, that has to improve. Maybe they'll do it this week.
Right, but listen. The problem here, and I'm not going to sit here and say you don't have a right to be upset with Tua's performance. I'm not saying that. But can we say the bigger issue with the offense has to do with the adjustments they make in the second halves of these games?
Right? I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
It's I'm just saying the picture of the success or failures of this team go much deeper than just pointing at the quarterback. And I'm trying to get people to see the whole picture. That's it.
I just think this Mike McDaniel got a little too big for his britches. He thought he was on the same playing field as Spo. And let me just tell you, like, if Eric Spoelstra was a football coach, no doubt in my mind that Braxton Berrios would go for 200 yards in a game. Like, no doubt. No doubt. If Spo was a football coach.
And they say Tua doesn't even make adjustments at the line of scrimmage. First of all, that has more to do with the offense. You don't know that, right? You don't know what adjustments are made. Sometimes a lot of adjustments are built into each play. So to just say that means you don't know what the hell you're talking about. That Tua doesn't make adjustments or change the. No, stop. Please stop.
Take a quick break. Back with more for this.
Absolutely not.
Three, three.
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Let's get to some cat talk here, brought to us by our friends over at Celsius. Hockey fans, don't sit this one out. When it's game time, make Celsius a part of your play and get that energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks, the official energy drink of
your Florida Panthers.
Cats are rolling right now, dude. 7 straight wins for the Panthers. They win 8-4 on Saturday night against the Colorado Avalanche. They will wrap up their road trip on Tuesday in St. Louis. So a couple days off, much needed for the Panthers. Sam Reinhart, a hat trick, dude. A mother bleeping hat trick against the Colorado Avalanche. He's up to 28 goals on the season. He's been absolutely incredible for the Cats. Let's hear a little bit from Rhino after the win and the Panthers running their win streak to 7.
I mean, kind of up and down game. It was nice, realistic with it, and coming out of the third period on top.
That power play, you guys have used that setup all year. How much do you enjoy just being kind of the trigger man on that setup play?
When you've got guys that are finding that area, put it in there and give me some time. It's a pretty nice spot to be.
Were you surprised how many halves there were on the ice? A lot of Panthers fans seem to make the trip.
Absolutely. It kind of seemed like it in warm-ups, so great to see out of them.
And right now the team's 7 in a row. How fun is it to be a part of the team when wins are stringing together, you come into the rink happy every day, things like that?
Absolutely. When you can get on a roll like this, it takes some pressure off of some other times throughout the season when it's not going well. So, I think we were kind of struggling a bit, both mentally and physically through the grind, kind of getting back for those 2 long road trips kind of in December, and it was nice to be able to regroup over Christmas, and we've come out strong.
Just for yourself, obviously, it was kind of up in the air for 24 hours, but both Barkov and Rodriguez good to go. They played, had a great game.
Absolutely. I mean, massive parts of this team, so anytime you can get those guys back, even after a couple periods, it's a good boost for sure.
Why does
Rhino killing it? He's going to make a lot of money
into it too. He was so deep into it.
Why do you do that?
What'd I do?
All we heard is something about Rhino is going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, he's going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, he
knows,
should.
Exactly what I said.
He know what he forgot to do. I saw him reach down and hit the button.
I didn't mute myself. I didn't mute myself. JFig did. She's fidgeting. She's been a fidgeter all day. She walked in today fidgeting. She's mad at the Golden Globes host for making a sassy joke at Taylor Swift, which, by the way, that guy's career is over. I don't know what to tell you.
Joe Coy?
Joe Coy.
Night, so I don't know
Joe Coy.
He's a He's a bit of a. He's one of those people that if you see
He was
him,
trying to find ratings.
you'll like him. You'll like him. But if that's your first time you've heard of him, you won't like him, right?
Yeah.
But,
Well, she didn't like him. His career's over.
Yeah, other than that, though, he will be headlining the Kaseya Center on January 20th.
Yeah.
So in case you want to see him in person, to yell at him.
and wait, he must be big time because he's going to Kaseya Center.
Yeah. Well, that was pre-angering T Swift. We'll see now.
We'll see. We'll see now.
We'll see now,
You're
dude.
really pissed off after Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope so, dude. Let's send her home
Oh,
sad.
now we're open. Now we're
What?
open. Mr. Ride or die. I hope
Mhm.
so. Maybe.
I
You don't
hope
have
so.
the guts. You lost the guts.
I don't have guts today. I need another night of drinking to get
Oh,
my
we
guts
need
back.
24-hour guts?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta get your guts back?
He has the
Oh,
bubble guts.
Yeah. I've been on the bowl all day, dude. You know, like it was not good. I mean, I was ill. I'm still ill. I'm feeling better. You know, the music helped me, you know, kind of get out of the funk a little bit. But yeah, dude, not feeling great right now. Anyway, let's get to the rest of our headlines brought to you by
Of all the games, is the Dolphins, Kansas City the least attractive one? Because everybody else has a story.
No,
right?
Tyreek returned to Arrowhead. What are you talking about?
Okay, but look at the other games. I'm just saying, compared to the other games.
Yeah, dude. I would say Tyreek return to Arrowhead's a lot more interesting than Mike McCarthy against the Packers.
Huh?
Yeah, come on.
Jordan Love?
Nah. Nah.
Packers against Cowboys?
Well, you can't just say teams and give that a better reason than Tyreek Hill returning to Arrowhead.
Packers Cowboys is like a historical like matchup.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what draws ratings. History. I forgot the
Who
History
was-
Channel is putting out a lot of new shows.
Let me ask you. Can I ask you a question?
Hmm?
Now, and keep in mind, my numbers may be a little skewed here because I don't know what the Swifties are gonna do. So I'm like not even including that portion of this. Who do you think's gonna watch? Who's gonna have more viewers? Cowboys, Packers, or Dolphins, Kansas City?
Well, that's not fair because the Dolphins are on a streaming network, so that's not
No,
fair.
but I'm saying who would
if they were both they
Yeah.
were both on, probably
Yeah.
the Cowboys.
right.
But
But I'm saying that's why I think the Dolphins are on the streaming.
How
They
are you,
don't win their number one game.
Leroy? Be honest with me right now.
Sure.
Are you gonna be interested in anything Mike McCarthy has to say in the lead up to this about his former team?
No. I'm
but-
interested.
but-
I'm interested in the Dolphins. Forget that we talk about the Dolphins. Forget about we follow the Dolphins. Forget about we're being fans. I am more interested in the Dolphins in Kansas City than I am the Packers and the Cowboys. I am. Okay. But I'm saying when it goes to viewership, right? The least watched game of all these games will be, forget the streaming aspect of it. The least watched game will be Dolphins, Kansas City.
Oh, dude.
Of all these games, if you look at all the games. Okay, tell me which one's going to be worse.
Texans,
have worse
Browns.
games. I'll give you that. Okay. I'll give you that. I'll give you. Hey! Can we cut a little hole? Forgot about that game.
Amazon Prime.
Forgot about that game. Okay. All the other ones.
I thought you were just so with your blinders on of loving Cleveland and Joe Flacco.
No,
you were just
no,
like
no, no,
everybody
no.
loves Joe. Leroy loves Joe Flacco so much right now. He's like everybody loves Joe Flacco.
No.
Nobody.
I forgot about that game. I'm sorry. I really did. But I think it goes here from worst to best. It will go Houston, Cleveland.
Yep.
Then it'll go Kansas City. Then it'll go Kansas City. Wait, no. Wow.
You got Buffalo,
Let me
Pittsburgh.
change that. No, because Buffalo, their fans will watch like crazy. But how about Tampa? Does Tampa play
Philly, Monday Night Football.
Philly? Tampa, Philly. That might be a tough watch.
You're not gonna. The Dolphins. Here's the thing, dude. The Dolphins are a national talking point team, and so are the Chiefs. Like it's gonna be. There's a reason they put it on Peacock, because it's gonna get subscribers. Like that's what they want. By the way, I should mention, if you for the Miami viewer, you do get it on NBC. Like local team does have to be on broadcast.
Local TV picks it up.
Did you guys see Peacock pulling some chicanery though?
What are they pulling?
So Peacock was originally like it came with your Xfinity, or it was just normal.
Yeah.
But now, in order to watch the game, you need Peacock Premium.
Peacock Premium?
What the hell are we doing here? It's like $5.99.
Oh, Tobin fell for that twice.
What did I
with
fall for?
the boxing?
Oh, DAZN.
Oh, DAZN. Speaking of boxing, by the way, we'll give you a couple headlines here. This happened on Friday. Francis Ngannou agreed to his next boxing match against Anthony Joshua.
Whoa! How the hell does he keep getting these top?
How does he get the biggest? Like Francis Ngannou's walked in, he goes, "I'll get the biggest fights. I'll do it."
Guy, he has a fast pass in the boxing game.
Because
awesome.
Because he's fighting, right?
Yeah, he's gonna make some money, and that's what all these boxers want. Of course, the biggest money fight probably was Joshua Wilder. That got washed. Francis Ngannou's like.
Also, Dana White, Uncle Dana, he announced a new fight for Miami. He's given us Dustin Poirier in the co-main. Now he's taking on a guy you probably had never heard of, Benoit Saint Denis, who's a French kind of specialized fighter. He had a head kick from hell to win his last fight, which is how Poirier lost his fight to Justin Gaethje. But Dustin Poirier on the co-main. I mean, you'll never find a boring Dustin Poirier fight. So. Right. That was a great little post New Year's gift from that card. Just keeps getting stacked. They got Poirier, we got Gilbert Burns on that card.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you know we gotta have Gilbert on.
Yeah, I don't know. You think he's I don't know. You think he still rats off a ship on? You think he's rats off a ship on Tua? Or you think Gilbert still believes in him?
No way. Like, but here, the ebbs and flows of this. Right, I'm not into the ebbs and flows of it. Right, I didn't think this team would go undefeated. Granted, I will say this: I would have liked everybody on the team, especially Tua, to perform better against the teams that you're going to be facing in the playoffs. I would feel a little bit better going into the playoffs. Right, but what I'm more concerned with is the overall offense and how, and let's think of this. Once it goes stagnant forever, right? It doesn't ever, you don't ever have a period with this offense where they have a couple of bad series and they make an adjustment and then they start moving the ball again. It's like once they figure out the initial blitz of the offense, right? They don't seem to ever turn it around during the course of a game. And this happens with upper echelon teams because those teams have the talent to make adjustments.
Well,
and they have the talent to do different things.
We'll take a quick break here on Tobin and Leroy, streaming live on YouTube and Twitch, Miami 560, WQAM. Back after this.
Uncensored.
Let's go! Sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers. Experience amazing.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Hey, if you guys want to go to see Udonis Haslem get his jersey raised to the rafters, number 40 is getting retired. You guys could go to the Kaseya Center and be there when it happens. Just enter now for your chance to win tickets. Just text the word HEAT to 20357. That's HEAT to 20357. You can win. Be there when UD's jersey is retired. For more details, go to WQAM.com. Heat back on the hardwood tonight, taking on the Rockets. I'll be boots on the ground tonight. Look at it. There's some fun games coming up this week. We got Rockets. Rockets are a good team, surprisingly. Now good. They added some legit players. But Wednesday's the one I'm looking forward to, Leroy, because it's the OKC Thunder in town.
Chet.
So you got Chet versus Jaime. I feel like Jaime needs
SGA.
Yep, they got a good team. But I'm looking for I need a Jaime Rookie of the Year statement game. See if he could put a little something on Chet Holmgren this. I didn't think it wasn't a fantastic road trip for Jaime. He had his moments, obviously the bucket over LeBron James, but Kelly Olynyk really gave him that work. He had a tough one going up against all those weapons on the Clippers. And this last game, dude, I mean, it was just everybody. It felt like everybody must have had their eye on Miami other than Bam. Everybody else was like, whoo, Tyler Hero. Yeesh. Jimmy's still out tonight. His agent did tell Ira Winderman that this is not a lingering long-term issue. It's his toe. So there's that. I mean, hopefully he's back soon. I miss him. I miss watching Jimmy Butler play basketball. I miss him. So there you go. The Heat are on the hardwood tonight, 7:30, 6:15 preheat. This has been kind of a bland Black Monday. Normally, firings are going a willy-nilly, and I feel like
got two so far.
We only got two.
Here's why, and I believe this is a purposeful move by the New England Patriots. That I think that they should wait a couple of days and give him his proper send-off, right? Don't fire him like bum, like you do on Monday on the plane, right?
So you want like a mutual parting of ways?
Well, I just think the way they do it has to come from a place of appreciation for what he's done. And when you get to that level, you don't just fire a guy or mutual depart with the likes of Arthur Smith, right? You know what I'm saying?
I was on Twitter last night. I was watching the post game and stuff, and I'm like, I didn't realize it was past midnight. I was like, damn, they fired Arthur Smith fast. Is it even Monday yet? And I was like, oh man, they fired him at midnight.
But me and Dan Day were talking about it, right? And we go, hey, did you see Arthur Smith? We're like, the hell with Atlanta, right? But here's why he was pissed. And let me see if I can. They lined up in victory formation. So they had Taysom Hill like 9 yards deep, sit like that guy in case of the fumble, right? And then they handed it off. Now, the reasoning was okay, right? But you can't give the other team the impression that you're not going to do anything. If you would have lined up in a regular football, he would have still been mad, but you can't say you didn't give him an opportunity, right?
Yeah,
now,
I think that's
the only reason why he did it is the kid had never had a touchdown. That was his first touchdown this year.
I would say this year. He was a pretty good running back in Detroit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Well, he had this this back and forth with a reporter who really didn't like what he did, and he goes, "Well, the entire team agreed with me. Like he obviously went against his coach, but the players wanted the kid to score the touchdown.
Right.
So what do you do? Like, Jameis Winston's not beholden to it, I guess. Like, he's been in the league forever. What does he care?
Once you get in between those white lines, right? And I'll tell you firsthand, we've gotten in a huddle, and one of the leaders has said, this is what we about to do, and you look around that huddle and you say, okay, and we all go down together if it doesn't work. And it happens, right? And you don't have to earn the respect of coaches, but you sure as hell got to earn the respect of the other 10 guys on the field with you. And so that's where that falls. So if the right person in that huddle said, let's get old boy a touchdown, and you sitting in that huddle, not only are you going to do everything to get his touchdown, but you ain't going to be the reason why he doesn't get it.
We regret that. Well, you do have to play these guys twice a year. That's all I'm saying. We already played them twice. I know, but I'm talking about in the future. You know, somebody's got to play these guys twice a year. That's all. How do you feel about it? Tell me how you feel about it. Not good. Why don't you feel good about it? Because you got to play these guys twice a year. But what about it makes you not feel good about it? I just don't. The head coach tells you to kneel it out. You're asking my opinion? Yes. I think you should have kneeled it out. Okay. Well, I'm just telling you as respectfully as I can. You answer my question as respectfully as you could, and I'm telling you as respectfully as I can that I respectfully disagree with you. That's all. You disagree with me or the entire team? Whoever made that decision. Okay. So you disagree with the entire team. So thank you. No, I'm just being honest and respectful. And that's what I'm attempting to do too. Yes. And that's what I am doing. So, yes.
I love the fact that everybody's got to be honest and respectful, but there's club air horns in the back.
Right. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. The only reason why anybody wouldn't understand that is because they were on the field in that huddle. Okay? But again, if the right person says we get an old boy a touchdown, then all bets are off. You line up, buckle your chin strap, put your mouthpiece in. I'll give you a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
We had practice like 4 or 5 days in a row with pads, right? When Bill Belichick first came in. Michael Dean Perry was one of our leaders. Yeah, that's the refrigerator's brother. He went out on the field and he came back in and he said, we ain't wearing our pads out there today. And nobody leave this locker room with your pads. Now, it's supposed to be a full padded practice, right? We went out there in shorts and helmets. And you know what Bill Belichick did? Absolutely nothing. So if the right person on that team says something, everybody else in that huddle, on that sideline, in that locker room is going to follow suit, and you live or die with it. So when Jameis Winston said, hey, are you disagreeing with the whole team? You got to play him twice a year. And like,
it was great. It's a great boxing by Jameis because we already did.
Right. But here's the deal.
And now Arthur Smith is fired.
Jameis Winston might not be on that team.
No.
So what does he care? You know, like for people to get all up in their feelings about a situation, and the coach can come out and say, I told him to take a knee. Right? And guess what the team are going to say? He told us to take a knee. And we wanted to get old boy a touchdown. So what? Deal with it.
We'll take a quick break. You guys got the show, Miami 560 WQAM, in on the chat. Back with more after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on a Monday. If you missed any of today's show, you get the Tobin and Leroy podcast. It'll be the last segment for me today. I do have a medical thing to attend to, but I will be back tomorrow in studio to see Frog Boy in the flesh.
Yay!
Begrudgingly, I'm not happy about it.
All right.
But
that's okay. Hopefully we'll be discussing
a little harsh.
It is,
Yeah.
but it's how I feel. I'm sorry.
All right.
Him and his chili peppers nonstop. Can't believe they
Hey
lost to that
guys, I think I had a breakthrough yesterday. I'll tell you what. I think I had a breakthrough yesterday when I realized I had 5 parlays for the same game and none of them hit. I realized, you know what, dude? I think I'm done.
You actually went through with it?
Oh yeah, did I? Well, let me tell you.
Wait, why? My question is,
Yeah.
here's when you know you have a problem. When you put in group chat, is this a problem?
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
And like,
I love how we always go to the group chat to ask for advice.
Hey, guys, I think I may have a problem.
Yeah, it was. I think it was when I went for the Durham Smythe anytime touchdown. I think that's when I realized.
Dude, it is a tempting. It is tempting. He hasn't got one all year.
Yeah,
Honestly,
but
the odds should be
he's been more of a part of the passing game in the last 4 weeks as he's been all year. So
never in the red zone though. Never in the red zone. Never happens.
No, we must have throw fades to little guys.
Text says rewatch Dolphins second half possessions won't take long. Plays were there in the passing game. Tua was poor and accurate twice. Barrios stopped a half yard short of the sticks. Tyreek had a ball yanked. Defense got no breathers. Bills took away their candy.
It does play hand in hand. So I would say this is that the defensive struggles late in the game had a lot to do with the fact that they were on the field almost the whole second half. So I'm not going to even that
It was
brutal.
I think it was like 40-20 on time possessions. It was ridiculous. It was
almost a whole additional quarter that the defense had to play over the offense.
With no depth, with injuries,
and people dropping during the course of that.
Yeah, I can't get on I'm sorry, man. Anybody who wants to blame the defense, I don't care what yardage Josh Allen had yesterday. That defense came up with the plays that had Christian Wilkins, gave you a chance to extend the lead. The defense in that stop on fourth down, which it was kind of a crazy play because I get why they went for it, because you have again a moose at quarterback, and Collinsworth loves that Buffalo bobsled. But I would have figured they would have just.
Here's the problem with that. Nobody runs the quarterback sneak and stands up like a statue except this dummy. Usually they get down and groundhog and push, and you can scoot underneath the pile, where nobody can see you, and then stick the ball out. And
how about Leonard Fournette throwing him up like Dirty Dancing? How I had the fourth down of my life.
Woo!
Point for Tobin.
It also looked like it's like he went to do the tush push, and he got a face full of butt. He's like, "Yo, man, no."
Oh man!
But it just looked awkward, right? And I'm like, "Oh yeah, here's Chris Collinsworth. Oh, every time they run this bobsled thing, he goes to the left."
That. Oh, I know. It like people want Josh Allen to win the Super Bowl so bad. I can't believe the Dolphins cannot beat this dude. He feels like he's got the IQ of a hamster with some of the stuff that he does. His coach is yelling at. His coach gets off the halftime. He goes, he's like bewildered, beside himself with Josh Allen being a dummy, and he's like, I don't understand. And this guy, the Dolphins cannot beat this guy. They can't. It's so frustrating. It is infuriating. The ownership this guy has over the Dolphins.
You think they'll never get another opportunity? Nope.
To face him?
Not unless the Dolphins
yeah, the Dolphins got to
unless
advance.
the Dolphins yeah. They have to beat
I think the Dolphins
Kansas
well,
City. They would have to beat Kansas City, beat Baltimore, and then maybe.
Yeah, because the Dolphins are the 6th seed, right? So the 6th seed, no, it would have to be in the conference finals.
Correct.
It would have to be in the conference finals. Which
Right.
I
mean, but again, the problem is I get how everybody feels, right? But all of the complaints that you have about Tua, we've had about all the other quarterbacks that you are so impressed with now. A couple of years ago, we had it with Josh Allen. Hey, can Josh Allen get you over the hump with all those turnovers? We live and die with Josh Allen. Well, guess what? Right? We saw that before. It was called Brett Favre. Brett Favre was going to have one of the worst picks in the world at the end of every game.
Hell, look
He
at
didn't
Jalen
have
Hurts.
it 1 year.
Jalen Hurts, everybody's like, oh, dude's the answer. This guy's the best. All of a sudden, tush push can't be stopped.
Right.
Then they go and have this. Now the locker room's falling apart.
Right. Lamar Jackson. Keep in mind, his own team for the last 2 years did not want to pay him as one of the upper echelon quarterbacks, right? He changed that narrative after he got paid. But guess what? We were saying the same things about Lamar Jackson. Like our minds and our attitudes about players change so frequently. And I'm just trying to say, hey, before you jump off a cliff, right? You got to give it time. You got to get, like, guys don't have the numbers and the success rate as Tua and are bums. Not even accidentally. You're not accidentally accurate, right? Those are things you can hang your hat on. Now, do things have to be a little bit better in those moments, in those pivotal times during important games? Absolutely. I'm not saying I'm not saying that he doesn't need to play better against the upper echelon teams, the defenses that adjust to him. But everybody does.
Yeah, I think that the thing is, this is a team that is McDaniel, it's Tua, it's Tyreek. I think they've all had moments where they've really felt like they've let the team down over these last couple of games, which is disappointing. I get what you said early in the show. Tyreek, I guess you can give a little pass to because it's very clear that he's playing hobbled. It's very clear. It's very clear that he's playing through a lot. Obviously had a very traumatic. Why?
This is not the first time he's done this. He had a pivotal drop last week. Didn't he have a pivotal fumble at a certain point, or a drop in Kansas City?
He had the bad fumble in Kansas City.
This has happened so many
in Germany
times.
Against Kansas City.
Here's also how we have.
He was a no-show in that first Buffalo game.
Here's how we also are unfair about facts, right? Facts. 4 years is not enough for Tua, really. So we're gonna count those first 2 years, right? We are really gonna count those first 2 years of Tua's progression, right? Those count. We're really gonna count them.
I don't count them. Like,
don't you have to be honest about the situation before you make some determination of what a player is?
I don't, but I also, I treated this season like this wasn't supposed to be a step season. They talked all year that they were going to go do something special. Maybe they still will, but people like, here's the thing. Like, people were comparing this. I saw this a lot floating around Twitter. People were comparing this to the Heat and the Panthers last year, where the Heat and Panthers both limped into the playoffs. And, then obviously had catastrophic, crazy upsets. The difference is the Dolphins were at the top. The Dolphins were had chances at the 1 seed.
Right.
Nobody ever thought that the Heat were like the Heat labored through all of last year. The Panthers labored through all of last year and then turned it on. The Dolphins went, 2-3 in their last 5 games and feel like they blew something here. And, very clearly feel like a much better team at home, which is a big deal in football because they're one-offs. They're not series. So I don't see the parallel between the two. maybe the Heat will. I mean, maybe the Dolphins will do something crazy and go and win all these road games. But it's just hard to believe. Like to think that this team's really going to go.
Yes, that's the point. The point is not whether they can or can't do it. The point is that based on what you've seen this last month, you have questions.
Yeah, and some of it has to do with health. Some of it does have to do with health. I'm not
health, but I would say, like, man, even with the defense being as banged up as they've been, they held them to 14 points. Right?
Great point by Terry, though. She says, I'm sorry, guys, but if Tyreek was so hurt, why is he doing backflips when he scores? Look, it's not great for his argument. I understand. Like, great boxing, Terry.
Great point.
Hey, like, hey, he goes so. Oh boy, like now all of a sudden you guys are paying attention too damn much.
You got a busted ankle. He's doing gymnastics.
They were like, take that, Simone Biles, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. All right, like Josh Allen is a mobile Tua, slightly better.
See, I think that's the problem.
According to you guys' rules of who is a good quarterback or not, there's only 2 or 3 quarterbacks then you can win a championship with in this league right now, according to those thoughts. And I'm saying that's not accurate because guess what? Anybody think Matthew Stafford could win a Super Bowl when he was with Detroit throwing for all those yards? No, nobody thought that.
I didn't think he couldn't. I just was like, oh my God, Detroit.
Right, but again, he was taking the heat for, he just gets a whole lot of numbers and it don't mean nothing, right? Throwing for 4,000 or 5,000 yards.
I mean,
right?
streets are calling to a lefty Kirk Cousins. I'm not saying that, but people are saying that.
Okay.
People are saying that.
Dude, I mean,
I'm not saying that. Just people are saying that.
There's worse.
I mean, but that's the point. Like, that's Kirk Cousins. Like, yeah, there's worse.
Yeah.
But how much is it? Like,
Schmeathan's saying lefty Jared
Is there
Goff.
a certain level? Is there certain level of expectations you get from your quarterback that now we think like it's on something else, or no? Are we always going to look at the wins and losses, go to the quarterback, and say that's?
Here's the thing. Like, I get what you're saying, but they're very clearly, this was a thing that, the Dolphins' success against the bad teams in this league, like they felt very much like they fattened up. And I get it. There's more bad teams to beat than there are good teams, but it was just such a stark difference, Leroy, when they took on the bad teams, they whooped their ass, and it just always felt like, and the thing that annoyed me the most about with the bad teams is like, they always felt like it wasn't to me ever like a talent discrepancy. It just always felt like, here's the moment where they blow it. And it always snowballed into something worse.
Right.
So I don't know what that is. Is that talent? Is that needing to mature to win? I don't know, but I can't, when you have that happen to you over and over and over again this season, it's like it's tough to stomach. It's tough to stomach, And
by the way, timeout. Timbo Slice. If Cleveland beats Texas, why wouldn't they play the Ravens instead? Because the Browns are
they're
the
5.
5th seed. They're 5. They're not lower.
They're not lower. They're 5.
Look, all I'm trying to do is keep some of this real, right? I get what everybody's thinking. I get everybody wants. He's Kirk Cousins. He's this. He's that. He's this, right? I get all that, but the fact of the matter is that whether you want to believe it or not, this is Tua's second year as a starter, right? In an offense where he could flourish, right? There is nothing that happened his first 2 years that did anything to develop him into the quarterback he is now. Nothing. He got 2 years that were wasted because nobody, you could even go in the organization. It almost seemed like nobody wanted him.
Right.
So for everybody to say, oh, we're just making up the rules. He's been here 4 years. Stop. You were all here. You were all here talking about Tua's not the guy. I want Justin Herbert. I want Trevor Lawrence. I remember all the conversations. I was there. Okay. Now it's not so clear. So you want Justin Herbert? You want Trevor Lawrence? Because they're big boys. They got cannons. You think they could do the same winning as Tua? I'm telling you no.
Well, they have
because the one thing that they don't have that Tua has is accuracy.
Take a quick break. Back over to this.
Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy show.
Oh, I forgot. Old Tobes had to jet out.
Tobes dipped.
Yeah.
Coward.
That's why he got all of his crying in for the first 3 hours.
Yeah, it's
I
exactly
gotta
why.
say that song really,
Oh my God.
really surprised me. It was funny.
It was funny. I get it. I get why everybody's miserable, right? But let's
I
think
don't
of it
think
this
you
way.
do get it,
Are
though,
you,
Leroy.
I do. Here's why.
Because you're so logical.
No, because I've been in both.
He's been there.
I've been in
Yeah.
both situations.
Yeah, we haven't.
Right?
We're just delusional fans.
Right. And so, like, I've been in a situation where when I was in Minnesota, we lost the last couple of games to lose division to Green Bay again.
Yeah.
And then having to go on the road against New York and get Denny's first win, right? Where we had to come back. Like, I've been there. I've been there when we were 15-1 and running over everybody and a double-digit favorite in a championship game and lose.
Yep.
Right? I understand that. There's so many things that go wrong or could go right for you to end up in these situations that it's hard for me to just put it on one guy. And so we always tend to put it on one guy, but here's what pisses me off about that. Depending on who that one guy is, we'll give excuses, right? So if Josh Allen doesn't get to the Super Bowl this year, they'll say, well, that defense didn't hold up, or well, he didn't have anybody catch the ball, or the running game wasn't any good, right? They're not going to say Josh Allen threw 3 picks.
Yeah.
They're not going to say that. And so my whole thing is that Tua's low-hanging fruit. He is. So I've never seen a quarterback who led the league in passing get this much criticism for a team that's 11-6 and in the playoffs. Granted, they lost 2 of the last 3.
Yeah.
I get that. I understand all that. But the reason why you didn't win yesterday is a lot deeper than just your quarterback throwing a couple of picks, right?
For sure.
Because it never seemed like that offense was in a position to have success. Like it just seemed like nothing was working.
I don't think it was all Tua. I don't.
It wasn't.
But I think there's 3 main people to blame.
Go.
Mike McDaniel.
Correct.
Tua.
Correct.
And Tyreek Hill.
Yes. And I would say this, that if you're going to win a football game, those 3 people have to be good.
Absolutely.
Right?
And they're part of the reason why we are where we are.
When it comes to your offense, those 3 people have to be good. Right?
Yeah.
And so, like, Mostert does his thing, Achane does his thing. But if the Dolphins are going to have success against Kansas City, at the end of the day, we're going to say Tua was good, Tyreek was good, Mike McDaniel was good, making adjustments, calling plays. That's a fact. And every team has those guys.
Yep.
Right? You're not going to win a football game against Kansas. Kansas City's not going to win a football game if Patrick Mahomes has a bad day. Right?
For sure.
For sure. And so every team has those guys. Dallas not going to win if Dak Prescott doesn't have himself a day. Right? You could go outside to the wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb. Right? Every team has those guys. But for some reason, we'll scratch off Mike McDaniel. We'll push Tyreek Hill to the side and put it all on Tua.
Yeah. I mean, Tua's the most polarizing. So obviously, people are going to be coming for his head.
Yeah, no, I get it.
They're just waiting for his downfall, really.
I understand that. I understand that.
But you gotta admit, dude, you gotta admit that every single time Tua has an opportunity to escape those narratives, every single time he has an opportunity to prove himself, he never does.
Except 2 weeks ago.
I wouldn't even count that though.
Why?
What was his numbers? I don't even remember his number. It was such a pedestrian ass game.
At the end of the game,
yeah,
when they needed a drive, Tua took them down the field and they kicked a field goal to win. Does that count? Or are we going to look at the numbers for the whole game and say, it was all right? What you just said, what you just talked about, happened 2 weeks ago. Now, in fairness to the whole situation, this is Tua's second year being a starter, to me. Okay, if you want to count those first 2 years, go ahead. I'm not. That dude was not put in a good position to win, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
So this is his second year. He's got 3 or 4 comeback wins. Remember the Baltimore game 2 years ago?
I mean, but yeah, how long am I going to hold on to that?
He's only been starting 2 years. He's got 2 or 3 of them.
I don't want to give that excuse if it's only been 2 years. He has every possible vehicle you need. He has the best rushing game. He has the best wide receiver core. And he has a pretty decent offensive line, even though they're constantly injured.
Yes.
What more do you need? Time? I'm supposed to give him time now?
Receivers to catch it?
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, because there were some drops there that are like, what the hell are we doing here?
So look, I'm not.
He hasn't scored a touchdown in the second half in the last 3 weeks. That's trash.
Nice stat, frog boy.
Like
where are you reading that?
No,
where are you reading that?
No, I'm looking at that. I looked it up. No, I promise.
Close Google.
I did.
So I get all that. I'm not. See, everybody thinks I'm giving Tua.
You're giving Tua a pass, dude.
I'm not giving him a pass.
Yell at Tua.
I'm not giving him a pass, and I'm not making excuses for him. But I am saying this, right? That don't some of these things get better with time?
Yeah, but the way that they painted it, this was the year. The way that they have been talking all year.
Wait. Yeah. Every team paints it like this year.
I don't know.
Wait. How do you want them to paint it, Marcos?
Wait.
It's like,
listen.
Not this year.
Can I just say this before the season starts?
Yeah.
Right? What if Mike McDaniel or Brian Flores, when he came in, said, it's going to be rough for the next couple of years, but in 3 years, we're going to be good. What?
They do in other ways. They're
they don't.
This isn't an overnight process. They sneak it. They hide. They say things like that.
And you know what those coaches are now?
What?
Fired.
That's true.
So come on.
Popovich started his season saying, I wouldn't bet on us to win the championship.
That's Popovich. Yes. That's Popovich.
Yes.
What if D'Amico Ryans has said that?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. But you can't be front running the whole.
But fans, nobody wants to hear it's a process. Nobody wants to hear, nobody cares that Tua's still developing, right? Yeah. Nobody cares. It very rarely happens that quick for a quarterback. And I get it. It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? Look at Patrick Mahomes. But in fairness to Patrick Mahomes, how long did he say? 1 or 2 years?
Before he won a championship? Oh, how long did he sit behind Alex Smith? About 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody talks about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers sat for 4 years.
Yeah, to the point where they're like, all right, guys,
right.
Get out of here, Brett Favre.
Right. We're in a different era now where guys don't sit. You bring them in and you play them right away, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But it still doesn't take away from their development.
Leroy, were you a scholar? You were even in middle school, high school, good grades?
Yeah, decent.
JFig, did you have good grades?
I had pretty good grades, yeah.
Cool. Let's say, for example, you were an F student, maybe a D student, and your parents say,
sorry.
Good, solid. I didn't think you were. But let's say you were, and your parents decide, you know what? We're going to get this guy the best tutor that we know. We're going to spend money on this kid so that on Saturdays and Sundays, he's waking up at 8 a.m. doing multiplication and division, and he knows the Pythagorean theorem from the beginning to the end and so on and so forth.
The what?
Exactly. I think it's y equals mx plus b or something like that. I don't know.
A squared plus b squared equals c squared.
I don't know what this is anymore. Is that the slope formula? No one knows anything. But nonetheless, let's say you spent all these resources to get this stupid little kid to go from an F student, and you're thinking, look, I got the best tutor possible. He's going to Saturday and Sunday classes. He's going to school Monday through Friday. And at the end of the year, he's like a C student. Yeah, sure. It's a great progress from an F student to a C student. But at the money that I spent, I better get a damn A. And this year, I didn't get an A. I got a C.
And you know what I would say to you?
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors that go into that, Marcos.
Wait. As a tutor,
yeah,
I would go up to you and you say, I spent all this money. I expect my kid to be, and you know what? I would look you right in the eye and say, can't coach stupid.
Okay. That's what people are saying to Tua. You can't coach. You can't coach past what he's capable of doing.
Based on what?
Based on the lack of clutch victories he's had.
Clutch victories.
Yeah.
Clutch victories after 2 years of starting.
It's been like
this. Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. Are you considering a clutch victory what Lamar Jackson did to San Francisco?
That was a big. How about not clutch victories, primetime victories?
Primetime
victories. Yeah, I would consider that a primetime
because guess
victory.
what?
Yeah.
You know, if Lamar Jackson doesn't win the Super Bowl or make it to the Super Bowl,
yeah,
the conversation is going to be about him.
For sure.
Right? So and as a football player, right? He's only won, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
He only has one playoff win, which after Saturday, before Lamar Jackson plays next week, him and Tua could be tied.
True.
So, what are we doing? I get it. Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not even disputing that. But if your whole basis of why Tua is bad is because he can't win a primetime game or beat a good team, I would say to you this. Lamar Jackson has one playoff win. And now, what do you say to that? Oh, but Lamar Jackson is better? I'll give you that. But the argument you're having about why Tua is bad, you don't have the same argument about Lamar Jackson.
No, I don't question Lamar Jackson, though.
Right.
I don't question whether or not he can get it done in prime.
And how long has he been quarterback?
4 years? 5 years?
No. This is this his 6th year?
Oh, man. Has it been that long?
Yes.
Jesus.
Right. That's my point.
The guy's getting old.
But wait, that's my point.
Yeah.
Right? And up until maybe 2 years ago, until he won the MVP, what were we saying about Lamar Jackson?
Can't get it done.
Right. And I'm not saying that Tua will ever be able to get it done. I'm not even saying that. I'm not guaranteeing anything. But I am saying this. A lot of the conversations you're having with Tua, you've had about a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL, and then you didn't. For as great as Aaron Rodgers is, and you could put Dak Prescott in this same boat. There's been no team to go 13-3, 14-2, to lose in the divisional playoffs more than Aaron Rodgers teams.
Yeah, it happened a lot.
Right, but guess what? He's Aaron Rodgers. He gets the pass. If Tua had done the same thing, we would not be hearing the end of it. Right? Josh Allen, they used to start. Y'all don't remember the old Buffalo Bills used to start every season 6-0 and then miss the playoffs. Right? We have these conversations about every quarterback. We had them about Peyton Manning. The only quarterback that I can think of that we didn't have this about is Tom Brady, because soon as dude took the helm, they won. Not because of him, but they won.
Yeah.
And so that's it. But we've had these conversations about almost every quarterback. You're making it sound like Tua is unique to these conversations. They're not. You just don't remember. Remember, everybody wanted Justin Herbert over Tua.
Yes.
Everybody said Trevor Lawrence is better than Tua. Would you like to revisit that?
No, and in those two cases, obviously, I do feel that Tua is a better quarterback. I just feel like even in games that, for example, the Lamar Jackson story comparison that we brought up, even in games that he didn't win, including those playoff games that he lost, he didn't shrivel in the moment. And I feel like every time Tua has an opportunity, it's a swing and a miss. Even in the Tennessee game, the defense gave up, that crazy comeback from Tennessee and a bunch of questionable calls. But the offense had an opportunity to score a couple times. In Kansas City, the offense has a ball. They fumble on the snap. In Philly, the offense has an opportunity to do it again. They don't come through. He's had 4 to 5 moments alone this season that would cement him.
I'd say 4 moments.
Yeah.
And he's come through once.
Which one? Oh, you're gonna see. I don't even count that one.
Why
dude.
don't you count it?
Because that's a Jason Sanders game.
You can't pick and choose your stats, dude.
True.
So now you're going to say it's Jason Sanders is the reason why they won.
Absolutely.
Not Tua driving them down.
Mike White could have drove them down.
Dude, I'm gonna fight you.
That's fair.
Like 2 seconds.
Please do.
I can't believe this dude. You just fell right into the Tobin role.
Just what, dude? Do something clutch for once, too. I'm tired of being embarrassed on national television.
Okay, that's a you problem.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a us problem. Dolphins everywhere are tired of being embarrassed on primetime television.
I got it. So let me ask you this. So does that mean if Tua comes through and they beat Kansas City,
yeah,
right? Super Bowl champs.
Yep.
You think it's going to change anything about how you feel about Tua?
Okay, how about this though?
What if they no?
What if they
don't
win?
Change my question with what you
the question.
It's more on his performance. Because if they win and he has another sorry ass,
who cares? He gets credit for it.
Then it just doesn't do anything for me.
So now, you not only want Tua to win,
I want him to perform.
You want him to perform.
Yep.
You know what? Can I give you some examples?
Yes.
When New England won their first Super Bowl, Tom Brady.
Yeah. That's true.
When
that was Adam Vinatieri.
When the Pittsburgh Steelers won with Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah. Hell of a throw at the end, though.
Oh, yeah, what
a throw. I don't care if that was the only pass he completed.
That was one of the
greatest passes.
That was one of the greatest passes ever, right?
That was crazy.
Right. Wait. Eli.
Yeah.
Was only
what a moment, though.
Was only Peyton's brother.
Yeah.
He got 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Right? Does anybody still look at Eli like a boob? Because that's what they thought of him.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, we got to stop.
All those guys had moments, though. What's Tua's moment?
He's only been quarterback for 2 years.
Maybe too long. Okay,
send it a break, please.
We'll be back with more Tobin and Leroy.
Numero uno, me and Drizzy like the Super Bowl, man. Then it big as the what? Big as the what? Big as the what? Big as the Super Bowl, but the difference is it's just too
Big as the Super Bowl, Leroy. Even Drake knows how important yesterday's game was.
How convenient that you picked this song. What?
JFig, what was your watching? What was your watching situation yesterday? You were watching this with family? Were you watching this alone at a bar? Not alone at a
I
bar.
was watching it with family, and then at the end, it was just me in my sadness.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about right. At what
I
moment
almost came with a little teardrop right here because I was crying.
Oh, but that doesn't mean you're sad.
I know, but
that means you're
in my world,
it means you off
in my little emo world, I was gonna put like a little teardrop so you can see my tears from last night.
Dude, I get, man. Look,
I
get how frustrating it is. My buddy's like, man, I brought lobster.
Right?
Right?
Grilled lobster in the park.
Yeah, I saw a lot of barbecues yesterday. I looked on point. I wanted to go just for the barbecue.
Yeah. So, I get Dolphins fans are upset, right? But the narrative that you have has been given to you by the national media, right? Because I remember a couple of years ago, we were like, man, let's just get in the playoffs and let's take that next step, right? So if they go into Kansas City and win, and I could give a rat's ass how good or bad Kansas City is. It ain't none of our business.
Yeah, same.
You win a playoff game. So stop trying to minimize the competition so you can keep your narrative. Okay? But they go in, they beat Kansas City. Is that not progress? You can say what you want about Tua. You can say what you want about, but as an organization, is that not progress? And keep in mind, you're doing it with probably 25% of your talent on the bench.
Do we trade Tyreek?
No.
Okay, here we are.
Marcos.
Jalen Waddle becomes the number one.
Mute yourself.
We can get a lot for Tyreek.
Seriously.
Mute yourself.
You know what, Leroy? I can't even mute him because if I mute him, I have to mute you.
Yeah. No.
Can we trade Mike McDaniel? Is he on the block?
Getting you off.
Really?
No. Okay.
But here, can I ask you a question?
You got a lot for Tyreek, though.
Can I ask you a question?
It's a big haul.
You think Mike's not learning also? Why do we think like these coaches come in and they're right away picking up on everything? Like there's lumps they got to go through too. The problem is we want winners now. We're very impatient. Yep. We don't want progress. We want championships.
I deserve a winner. Stephen Ross deserves a winner.
Absolutely.
Put a lot of money.
I'm not just saying that dude is investing a lot of money into this organization.
He deserves a winner.
Okay, I get that. Okay, understood.
How am I supposed to watch Hard Knocks?
But just understand this. Everybody thinks that coaches don't have to learn things too, right? It's a process. I hate saying that because every time I say it, I think of the 76ers, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
And that's not, I'm not going there. But I'm saying is that
what I tell Dolphin fans next year though?
What?
Like next year when it's like rolling around, let's get these season tickets in. Am I supposed to be like, hey, this is the next step of the process? Like
No.
They'll never trick me again. I want you to know that.
Here's the deal.
I say that every year.
The biggest move that they can make at this point to make everybody feel better about this season, right? Regardless of how much you hated the fact that the way it ended, is to go and win a road playoff game, right?
Yeah.
Get to the divisional round, which hasn't happened in 20 years. And no matter how you use it, and my problem is no matter how you lose or if you lose that second game, you know what you're going to be saying? The same thing. You're going to, instead of saying, okay, at least we got a playoff win, you know what you're going to say?
What?
Well, Kansas City wasn't that good this year. Right? I already know.
That's what the naysayers
I already know what's coming. So what, to me, anybody respond however you want. What would you consider a successful season this year?
2 more. I need 2 more. That's the only thing to wipe this stink. You need to win in Kansas City and win the next week. Then you're forgiven.
So let me get this.
Nothing
straight.
less.
Hold on. Let me get this straight.
Tua needs to play with.
Hold on.
All right.
Let me get this straight. In order to win the next 2.
Yeah.
That means you're going to have to go to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And then to Baltimore.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Now. Hold on. Here's where it gets. If you go to Baltimore and beat Baltimore, that means Tua would have more playoff wins than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Now, at that point, how does this change the whole narrative?
I tell you what, 2 games, Tua. Woo! Look at him.
I'm just
baller.
Numero
uno.
I'm just saying.
Until then, though.
But again,
borderline dead.
We pick and choose how we want to approach these things, right?
Yeah.
Because I would say even if Tua went and even if they beat Lamar Jackson,
yeah,
and even if Tua had more playoff wins than Lamar Jackson, you know what the conversation would be? I'd still take Lamar Jackson over Tua.
That's egregious, Leroy.
I'm
crazy
just saying,
now.
that's what people do.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And that's the part that frustrates me about this. Like, I don't have a problem with what you think about Tua, okay? But don't discredit what he has done to make your point about what he hasn't done. You see what I mean? Like, the numbers count. Like you say, oh, he's another Chad Pennington. Oh, he's another Kirk Cousins. Have any of these guys led the league in passing?
Kirk, maybe? No. Never. No.
So okay. Like, so doesn't that take him out of that conversation?
Yeah, but that feeds into another narrative that people was using the entire first half of the season.
There being teams that don't.
Tyreek.
But he didn't make the schedule.
No, he didn't. It was an easy schedule for sure, but he didn't make it. You just can play the teams on your schedule. I get that.
Oh, but Kirk Cousins, he's throwing to Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, that's good. That's fun.
Yeah.
But okay, he doesn't get credit too because he has Justin Jefferson.
Oh, no. He got a lot of credit when he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Which they had Kirk Cousins. Right? You want to run out there with Mike White?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
But in order to rub this stink off of what the hell just happened, the only way to do that is to win the next 2 playoff games. I don't even care if you lose in the AFC Championship. At that point, it's like, all right, 2 playoff games.
Do you realize what you're asking?
Yeah, but you know what? I didn't put them in this situation. They had it in front of them. They could have won at home. They could have had everything at home. They could have had it so easy.
So can I ask you a question? Would you feel any better or worse if they had to play a rubber match against Buffalo and lost the 3rd matchup?
No, what they should have been doing is going for that tie, because against Pittsburgh would have been the best possible opportunity.
So now we playing for ties.
Come on, man. Imagine Pittsburgh.
So let me get this right.
Yeah.
Everybody would have been okay with the tie.
I would have been so happy with the tie, dude. Oh. That was the best case scenario, actually, once I found that out. What a tie for Pittsburgh. Oh, I'll take that all day. I'm getting a little crazy now. So let's wrap the show up with All Right, Oh No when we come back after this. Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy show. Final segment of the day. It is time for our all right. Oh no, from the weekend that was. Leroy, would you like to start us off with your all right?
Sure, I'll start us off. Again, my all right is going to go to congratulating teams that, are surprised, that have surprised us making the playoffs. Another one of those teams is Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers.
All right.
Right? Hell of a job. They were dead and stinking. Everybody was wondering whether he was going to be the guy after Aaron Rodgers. And the thing is that a lot of people said the same thing about Aaron Rodgers when he took over for Brett Favre. So that organization had patience. They saw it through. He sat for a couple of years, and now guess what? They're in the playoffs. Baby steps. Baby steps. This is awesome. I like seeing it. I like seeing the patience and them hanging in there. Look, my oh no. And this is just joyous because, as you know, I'm from New Orleans, and our arch enemies are the Atlanta anythings, right?
Yeah.
Arthur Smith.
Ooh.
Like, oh no! I'm sorry, you're no longer the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. But the most upset you can get during the course of a game cannot be because the team scored on you from the 1 yard line, right?
After already being up.
After already. And the coach said, I told him to take a knee. And the player said, no. We want this guy to get a touchdown. Now, I will agree on from this standpoint, they did line up in victory formation.
Yeah, I didn't like that. That's the one. Like, if you're gonna do it, just
line up in regular offense.
He tricked him, dude.
But yeah. So, but here, it's Atlanta. I'm from New Orleans. I don't care. I don't care about your feelings.
Nice.
That's our, it's what? Miami to Buffalo.
Yeah, the Jets.
The Jets
have been so bad, but the Jets.
Right. It's Cleveland to Pittsburgh. Right?
Yeah.
Baltimore, Pittsburgh. No, that's it. Green Bay and Chicago. Green Bay, Minnesota. Right? Kansas City and the Raiders. Like, you have these, like, yeah, man. That go ahead. So what? Now, I'm sorry that he no longer has a job and is no longer the coach. But my lasting image of him is going to be him yelling at the other coach for scoring at the end of the game when you got blasted.
Yeah.
Right.
Not a good look.
Oh, no.
I'll go next. My all right. This one is pretty easy. It's going to go to the Miami Dolphins defense. And more specifically, I'm going to give it to Christian Wilkins.
Yeah. All right.
They get my all right because not only were they depleted going into the game, they got more and more depleted as it went. And, they did their best, bro. They did their best with more and more people. I saw Melvin Ingram sticking the hottest tight end in the NFL at one point. that was rough, dude. That was rough.
He just looked like he needed a CPAP machine when he was done, right?
Yeah, he's meant for short bursts to the quarterback. He's not necessarily meant to be running out to the flats. But I'll give him credit. I'll even give Eli Apple credit. He's going to get burned. That always happens. At least once a game.
Every time I see Eli, I just think Leroy. And it's no matter what he's doing, I just start laughing.
What was perfect was when he got that interception and stumbled his way to the 3 yard line.
And there was nobody within 30 yards of him.
We said the same exact text. Like, of course he would do something good and then not.
I had to look away from the television and just like.
I'm like, it looked like Looney Tunes. It looked like Looney Tunes. Like he slipped on but like Chris Berman. Like, it was just crazy.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of moments that were questionable throughout the game, but nonetheless, the defense did what they needed to do. The defense did their job, and I'm gonna give them my all right.
All right.
My oh no. Of course, it could go to the underachieving in primetime Tua. It could be drops McGee, Tyreek Hill, old front running Micah McDaniel. But my oh no is actually going to go to something a little bit different. Chris Collinsworth.
Oh no!
I might as well have been watching the game with Tony Romo back there. The way this guy was talking about Josh Allen, oh, he's a guy. He's just a dude. Look at the way that he monsters forward for that. Oh, Josh Allen, only a couple people can make that play in the league. All right, dude, we get it. All right, he had 2 interceptions and a fumble, and for the most part had a pretty mediocre game for his standards at the very least. I thought that I had escaped Tony Romo for this weekend. Unfortunately, he was reincarnated in the form of Chris Collinsworth, so he gets my oh no.
Oh no!
Figgy?
Well, in lighter news, I can obviously go and point out everything that we've spoken about this whole show, but I'm not going to. I can finally say I probably have a show I'm able to watch now instead of rewatching my previous shows.
All right, what show you?
While the game was going on yesterday, I had the game on my TV, and on my phone I was also watching in and out the Golden Globes.
Ah, yep.
And an award, well, a show just kept getting awards and awards and awards, and that show was Succession. I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
but now I'm gonna go ahead and watch it because it won so many awards last night.
Is there someone famous in there that I should know?
I don't know.
Isn't Paul Giamatti in it?
I'm looking at the cast right now.
I think so, actually. Let's see.
I see a bunch of you know who I don't necessarily know him for real, but Macaulay Culkin's brother. Kieran Culkin?
Oh, that's why he looks familiar. Yeah.
Yes, he looks exactly like his brother, and apparently
he accepted a couple of awards also yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. I think he told Pedro Pascal to suck it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I believe that was his word.
Who's also in everything.
In everything. I think that's why
everything.
I think that's why he went to that.
You know, he was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he was. He had a good character too.
Until they offed him.
Yep. Well, good. Now you have a new show. That's great.
Nice.
That you can find
Everyone
that.
keeps saying it's amazing. Okay, so now I have to watch it. Where can I watch this?
Yeah,
Max. Awesome. There you go.
Max. Oh, sweet. Yeah, that's good. Who's your own no?
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't, but I'm just happy that you're able to get into a show because nowadays
finally I'm always rewatching the same shows or I just won't watch anything.
Or I'll hear someone say, "Oh, I hate the way that ended." And it's like, I don't want to watch a show if it has a horrible ending. That's how I feel about like Breaking Bad or like Sopranos or everyone's
or
always
if
like,
I know like the movie has a terrible ending, I will just watch
Game of Thrones.
Game of
Thrones didn't have the best ending with somebody jumping off of a 700-foot wall.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Wow, there's like one bad comment on this. Apparently the acting sucks.
What? In Succession?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not what the Golden Globe said, but you'll be the judge. I want weekly updates from now on, JFig.
Oh, okay, cool.
I
didn't plan to get into that, but okay.
No, I need weekly updates now.
So my oh no goes once again for Florida being in the tabloids.
Oh, what do we do now?
A Florida man in a unicorn floaty was towed out 4 miles out at sea by a 10-foot shark.
What? 4 miles?
4 miles. And let me tell you something. He was found by a couple of guys on a boat who were trying to reel him in. And you know what he cared about the most?
His floaty.
Don't let go of the rod.
Okay.
He wanted to cast a shark.
He was okay. So
he didn't care about his life.
He was doing one of those. He was doing one of those little wading fishing things, and he hooked the shark.
He was on a unicorn floaty.
Yeah.
Fishing.
Okay.
Saw that he caught a shark. He didn't care, and he let the shark take him 4 miles out.
So it had to be the guys that put him in the water in the first place. That went and found
apparently they found him.
Right.
I would be surprised if
they found him and then they asked him if he needed help and they brought him into the boat. But the first thing he said was, "I caught a shark. Don't let go of the rod."
Can I just say this?
All right. Natural selection.
Never happened to Leroy.
Nope.
That's an intangible story waiting to happen.
Absolutely.
Right
Leroy doesn't use floaties. That's why.
No.
Oh.
What?
So anyway,
why not?
that potentially maybe Like what if this was his job? Like this is what he does for a living. He needed that shark blubber.
If that was his job, I think he would take it a little bit more seriously instead of
Probably
being
Not try to fish on a floaty.
floaty.
He probably would have had a boat of some sort.
And also the floaty on the bottom had a hole.
Okay, sir. What the hell are we doing here?
I mean, I'm like,
I don't know. Wait, when they pull him in and they already had the rod first, then it was him. He said, "Don't forget my floaty."
Okay, dude.
but here's
Should have left him out
here's
there.
the kicker. I blame the shark
Huh.
because you got a guy dangling,
Yeah.
Oh.
Should have ate him.
which is better eating than that little fish he
That's
had on
true.
a hook.
That's true.
Go get you a leg.
I'm surprised that even happens. Like, how is he unbothered by this?
Because intangibles. That's why.
There you
No,
go.
no. The shark,
Another Florida man.
not the person.
Right. I don't know.
Another Florida
he
man
not
story
actually-
to add to our shame. It's been a therapeutic day. I want to thank you guys for joining us. JFig, thank you for your support. Leroy, thank you for coming in today. Tobin, we'll catch you tomorrow. Miami Heat back on the hardwood tonight. You can catch that right here. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let's go Heat. Please deliver us a victory. We need it.
Hope you mother have a good day.